Welcome to Directly to You. It's episode 190 of our podcast. Who are we? We're fanatixfour. I'm AJ, a fanatixfour. I'm joined by Parker, also a
Hey,
fanatixfour. He
that's me.
said hi. It is him. You know his voice, you know my voice. You can support both of our voices by going to youtube.com/fanatixfour or twitch.tv/fanatixfour and getting $4.99. It don't even got to be yours if you're on Twitch and you have an Amazon Prime account, because you can link it to your Prime account, your Twitch account, and get Prime Gaming for free. And you can buy your Twitch sub on Jeff Bezos's dime. He has so many dimes. Take one away and give it to us or any other favorite streamer, but you're here, so you might as well give it to us. In exchange for that, you get loyalty badges, you get emotes, you get free Switch keys from time to time, you get access to our supporters only Discord where you can listen to us record this show. It's a great time. It's a fun time. You don't even got to be a supporter to listen to the show either. You can just contribute in the Discord, and you could join that for the free by going to the link in the description. You get to talk about bread. We also play video games here. Oh, wait, hold on. Before I do that, I got to remember, if you're listening to this on podcast services, you can listen to this on YouTube by going to youtube.com/directly to you. And if you're listening to it on youtube.com/directly to you, you can listen to it on podcast services. Subscribe or follow as necessary to whatever platform you're not currently using.
And when you say listen on YouTube, you also, in addition,
are viewing. You see it. You look at the thing. Like
with
now, currently, my hair
noggins.
is less in my face than last week.
Yeah,
which is cool. I can see things.
looks nice.
That is not my hair. But anyway, yeah, we play video games here. How are video
While
games?
you were saying those words, guess who resubscribed with his Twitch Prime thing to us?
It's lit.
That's the one.
Pog.
It was me. All right. Yeah, man. I distracted myself. Here we go. Playing video games. Yes. Basically 2. And they're the pretty. Actually, no, that's a lie. 3. Pokemon Legends Arceus. I'll say more things about that in a second. But Ollie Ollie Switch Dance went back. Just felt like playing something. And that's just a fun game. I need to get Ollie Ollie World at some point. But I've got other games to play right now. So I'll get it when I get it. I already have a game that's similar to it that I am playing. Yeah, it's a fun time. I like skateboarding games. Also, Jack Sanderson over at Coach.
I saw that, and I was about to say, wait, are we allowed to talk about that?
I don't know. I mean, he just messaged out, "Hey, people, we've got this game.
Yeah,
like, DM us if you whatever."
Yeah, I feel
so
like
I DM'd him. That's all. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, I feel like in that specifically, it was like, we're going to announce this thing. So I don't know if we're allowed to talk about it yet.
I don't know,
but they're going to say something.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't played it or anything. If that's that to clarify, and I mean, that there it is. So played some Ollie Ollie, and it's just a nice fun time. That is one of those games for sure, though, that if you go for a while without playing it, like the
okay, never mind. Embargo is the second, so we can talk about it.
Oh, nice. That's good. Wait, we'll talk about it afterwards. Games like Ollie Ollie and other such games have controls that once you learn them, like, make sense and are fun and everything. And then if you stop playing the game for a while, you just forget at all how to do them. And 100%. Because it's so like twitchy, kind of like combo based things, I don't button mash, but like my fingers want to do button mashy kinds of things sometimes. And when I'm in the middle of playing, when I've been playing it a bunch, I know which things to do that with. When I stop playing it and come back, my muscle memory remembers vaguely what kinds of things to do, but not exactly on which buttons every time. So I come back and the X button. So like B is like push and land, and A is something else and whatever. And X is just like start the level again. And it just starts it again, just like that. And so I'll like, I don't know, get a little combo going and then try to land something and then start the level over. Like, yeah. So that happens, and it's a silly fun time. But yeah, playing that game. And then I don't know, talk about Pokemon in a second, but you got anything else you've been playing?
Smash. But there's a new thing, which is really not even new. It's new to me, but it is old.
Cool.
There's this thing called Anthers Ladder that is like Elite Smash, but more organized, kind of. So it's like a social media forum-y sort of thing where it's like you put in like where you live and the character that you play, and you go on there and you're like, yo, I'm trying to play the video game. I want to play doubles or singles or whatever, and I want to do ranked or not ranked. And you can climb the ladder on the thing. So you're ranked with the people that also play the ladder on the thing. Because in Elite Smash, you can't see where you're ranked. You just have this made up thing that's like you're theoretically better than 10 million people or whatever.
Right. Yeah.
But in this,
which is like impressive and also not impressive in that like there's 22 million people that own the game. So like, you know, you have to.
Yeah. Also, it's like there's no real gauge to it because it's just the people that have signed on to Quick Play specifically and fought.
And you don't know what percentage of people that's going to be.
Yeah.
So it's just like, all right, it's Elite Smash. Like that's
also it's like meaningless because it's like when you win an indiscriminate amount of points, and when you lose a certain, like, who knows, man? Who knows how good or bad you are from the points that you gained or lost. So,
but yeah, that's cool. That it's I blanked as you were saying the beginning of the word. So it's you basically get to know your ranking within like a certain group of people or whatever.
Yes, but also it's like a better pool of people that you can be more sure have a good connection, because you can see where they live. Like you can it's like, oh, they're in this state, they're in this country or whatever. So it's like, I'll probably have a good connection with them. And also it's like a forum. So like when you go in there, you're like, oh, I want to play the video game, and then you match with somebody that both want to play the video game, that opens a chat. So you can be like, oh, I want to play on this stage, or this is the arena ID, and blah, blah, blah. You communicate with the other person. So it's also easier to do that. Whereas with the regular video game, there's no way to know if you're playing with somebody in freaking, Zimbabwe or whatever.
True. Have you done that on stream at all at this point?
Nope. I didn't stream since I started, or since I had signed up to it. I signed up like Wednesday night, and that was like after stream. But I might do it on stream. I don't know. I might see if Lee wants to do it. Oh, also, that's another thing. Next weekend is Collision in New Jersey.
Oh,
I'll be late.
That's a Smash tournament, I'm guessing.
Yes. Yep.
Nice. How many people are in that one?
800 something so far, but I don't know. There's like, it's still open registration. People are gonna join. People are gonna leave. So who knows? Pending the amount of people that are actually going to be in the tournament. But yeah, supposed to be doing that.
Man, going to a location and doing things. What a world we live in.
True. Which, like, there was Genesis. I mean, that didn't happen yet, but I still don't think I'm going to go to that. Just because, like, going to New Jersey, that's nothing. I don't know if I want to freaking get on a plane and play Super Smash Brothers, or, like, that's why, like, I'm iffy on PAX. I don't really know if I want to do PAX. But going to New Jersey, that's not hard.
Yeah.
It's like, it's right there. So I want to go do that. Gotta figure out what we do for next week, because I'm not going to be here Friday.
Yeah. Oh, cool. Yeah, we'll figure something out. I'll get somebody on something like that. Yeah, I'm going to two concerts coming up, which again will be weird to be in locations and doing things around multiple. Like, probably Spider-Man is the only time that I've really or church, but even then, like, most of the time we'll sit kind of out in the lobby and watch on, there's a screen there, because then we're holding Ezra and whatever, and like, I don't know,
even Spider-Man for me was like not anywhere, because I went to like a Alamo draft house sort of situation, you know where that is, like a theater like that. It's you eat food, and they got like the good chairs, man. There are like 3 chairs, and then
so weird. Back in where I'm from in Virginia, there's a ton of them, like cinema cafes or whatever. There's like low end ones, high end ones, and everything in between. And it's like, it's a thing. And here we only just, like, AMC, as a multi-conglomerate chain, whatever, blah blah blah, brought in what's dine-in movies.
Mhm.
And so there's one place within, some amount of distance that does it, but it's like a completely new thing here, which is funny because like over in, Virginia Beach is like, yeah, we've had those for like 15 years or
Yeah.
something ridiculous. So yeah, that's funny. But yeah, that sounds like a good way to see Spider-Man though.
Yeah, I don't think I would have went
Yeah.
otherwise. I'm not trying to go in I don't even like going in movie theaters when it's not a freaking health
Yeah.
crisis. So I'm definitely not trying to do that in one. But luckily, that was the theater that we went to, and it was fine.
That's true. Speaking of theaters too, tomorrow, I guess tonight technically, the drive-in that we like to go to opens up.
Batman.
And so we probably gonna see Batman tomorrow. Yeah, we're gonna play by ear, I think, but yeah, we're excited in any case, just that the drive-ins open back up, because that's just a fun way to be able to go and have Ezra, because we can keep it turned down and just hang out with her in the car and stuff. Yeah, so that'll be nice. And
I don't think I'm seeing Batman. I don't really care about Batman, to be honest.
I don't know whether or not I care. That's the thing, because
I used to care about Batman, but the older I get and the more the world is doing the thing that it does, the less I care about Batman.
Yeah, I feel that. I mean, even just like as an IP or whatever, I feel like I like the Dark Knight trilogy. I was all about it. And then I think just since the DCEU has kind of tried to happen and whatever, Batman versus Superman and all that is like, I'm fine, so it'll be interesting to see this, just to see if it's a good movie, that I enjoy for whatever reason. I mean, like I liked Robert Pattinson in Tenet. He was good in that. So like, we'll see what happens in this one.
I don't know where my Game Boy's at. I can't watch that movie. Can't watch it.
I get it. Yeah. What a time. But cool. Yeah, that's fun. All the Smash stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
I also played. Are we waiting to talk? Well, yeah.
I just figured we were going to talk. We'll both be talking about Pokemon, so I was like, we'll get other stuff out of the way first. But yeah, so Pokemon things.
Yes, Pokemon things happened. There was a Pokemon Presents.
There was. Oh yeah. So, you're saying, are we waiting to talk about Kirby?
No, I was saying Pokemon. I didn't play Kirby yet. I was going to play it before the podcast, and I was like, but it'd be better if I play this on stream. So
guess who did play it?
Nice.
Okay, so I want to talk about Kirby. I don't know what order to. I'm going to talk about Pokemon Legends Arceus real quick. Here's the thing. Right now,
no, I'm might as well wait. We'll wait for Legends Arceus. Talk about Kirby.
All right, then we're talking about Kirby now. I'm excited about this game.
Same.
Demo is fun.
I can't say if it is or not.
No, man. So yeah, we played it. Ashley and I played together. She played as Kirby and I played as Bandana Waddle Dee. And then I played it again just by myself. Or played the first 2 levels by myself again when I got a chance. And it's I think I don't know the best way to distill all my thoughts. Yeah, Alec just said in chat, easy, but it's a Kirby game, so that's expected. I agree that
there's a hard mode, man.
It seems like the hard mode, all it is just like you just either take more damage or have less health or whatever, basically. And so I could see it getting harder, quote unquote, than that by just having even less health or something. Which
I mean, it depends on how they do
that's
it. Because the devilish mode in Epic Yarn was pretty good.
That was interesting. Because that was the one, like something's like chasing you all the time, right?
Yes.
That's I don't know that I'd like that for a whole, like that feels fun for a replay, which is probably, I guess, how you'd probably use that. But I don't know that I'd want to use that in a first playthrough, but I don't know. I didn't play it, so maybe it's great.
It's pretty good.
But
for a regular game that has any level of friction, probably not. But for that game, which had next to no friction, it was good. It was okay. Right. I have a reason to feel challenged by this video game on some level. Or not challenged, but stimulated.
Right. Yeah. Like you're keeping alert I
Yes,
guess.
like I have a reason to pay attention to the game because
Yeah.
other than that, Kirby games play themselves. You can just hold the A button and forward, and
So
you're
I
good.
think
You're
that's
winning.
super well said for this game as well, is that like there's reasons to pay attention, and it's not because of the action specifically, because
Mhm.
so far, again, I mean, we'll see how it turns out in the end. Like the boss fight was still pretty cool for being, a Kirby boss fight and stuff, especially. Um, but I feel like if they made a harder difficulty and it was just, and the enemies took more, like had to have more hits or whatever, that would not be any more fun.
Yeah,
It would
that's
just feel
not.
bullet spongy in
Yeah,
a dumb way, because
that's
it's like
always a bad way to
terrible. Like I way
make things
prefer,
more difficult.
yeah,
That's why I always think that the freaking Pokemon ROM hacks are stupid because it's just like the Pokemon are higher levels.
yeah, right.
That's stupid.
Yeah.
Like,
I think definitely if you're going to do one of those like easy options of make the enemies stronger or make you weaker, I definitely prefer make not weaker in attack power, but like in health. I
yeah.
definitely prefer making you a bit more of a glass cannon kind of a
Mhm.
thing, because then it means you have to stay on your toes a bit more instead
Yeah.
of just spamming more. So like
Yeah.
of those two, that's good. But as far as like staying attentive and paying attention and all that, and um I think this game finally like can be more about exploration and just kind of like seeing what all is there, because it's a 3D game.
Yep.
And something about just like, even though Kirby Star Allies had areas where it's like, oh, if you go down here and like you had to notice this thing is
Mhm.
twinkling, and then you go down there and then it unlocks this other area. Something about it, just because it's in a 2D plane, feels like you were really supposed to notice it more so than in 3D. I don't know. It's
Yeah.
kind of dumb to
I
say
think
that.
that it was because it was done poorly and 2D.
Yes, right.
Because there's definitely 2D games that
I
are
mean,
good
Donkey Kong,
as 1D. Yeah.
prime example.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'd even argue like Sonic games are generally better than Star
Yeah.
Allies did that.
Yeah.
So it was just because Star Allies was a bad game.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, I think that's the thing, is like the action's pretty fun. The mouthful abilities are just good. It very much is similar to, kind of similar to 3D worlds, again, in the like isometric sort of
Yep.
thing. But what I will say is, whereas I feel like Mario has sometimes, especially up till that point, had sometimes like gone a little too hard on the introduce second mechanic, complicate second mechanic, put the two together, like that kind of
Mhm.
formula. And it kind of does feel a little bit formulaic sometimes. Like if you know about that, you kind of pick up on it
Yep.
more often than I'd like. I feel like this is a lot less of that. It just feels more organic, basically,
Mhm.
So yeah, so it's just a good time. I will say, yeah, so Ashley and I played together, and I feel like it's going to be good for boss fights for us to be able to play together. But I think that I told her, I was like, I'll just, like, whenever you're playing, I'm just going to let you play, because games where I like to explore every nook and cranny, and
And she
I'm
just wants to play the video
it's
game.
it, like she wants to explore to some degree too, but
Yeah.
also like
But
it's
not everything. Like
right,
it's just
exactly,
like, oh, this specific thing drew my eye,
right,
and I am going to go explore that. But you're like,
uh-huh,
but what about this thing that I didn't see? What if there's something
uh-huh.
over here?
Yep. And the thing, it's like not quite Breath of the Wild, Mario Odyssey, where everything is something. Like
Yeah.
there's in 2D platformers, I always go left first to be
Mm.
like, was there anything like before me that I should have noticed? And like Donkey Kong does a pretty good job. Like fairly often there'll be something there, not all the time, but like enough that it makes you want to check out, like, was there anything that I need to go
Mhm.
backwards before I go forwards? So I do that like in this as well. But I think most of the times I'd be like, oh, can we go back real quick and check back there? And then we gone back and it's like, there's one thing that had a coin back there. So it wasn't for nothing, but it didn't feel rewarding to have
Mhm.
backseat driven somebody back there. So it's
Yeah.
just like, I think we both had more fun when I was like, you're doing a great job. And, and just, being there for support, and then we'll play separately. But those are my thoughts so far. Yeah, I'm glad there's a demo. I do think it's really funny that there was the preview embargoes for everybody, and it seems like the preview was just the demo. So like, what? I don't know that really benefits those outlets that much.
Yeah, I don't know if that's the case, because it sounds like Game Explain. It sounds like they have the game.
That's true. Yeah.
So like they might have just been able to like show what is in the demo or talk about like because like is the hard mode in the demo?
It is.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
But it just sounds like when Andre was talking about it sounded like he had the game. Like he was like,
gotcha.
I have the video game.
I guess that's true, because Nintendo Life was the same. Because I watched Xeon's video, and I also watched the Good Vibes Gaming one, and they had just like a walkthrough, or like somebody else was playing it and they were just like getting to see it, like eyes on preview kind of thing, or hands off preview, which sounded like it was kind of what we've seen so far. But I guess that's true. We haven't seen, or we haven't gotten to do any of the Waddle Dee Town stuff. So that's a good point, because Andre was like, ooh, people missing out on some of the earlier things, like that's not in the demo but is in the game. Yeah, and I think the Waddle Dee Town stuff is like just very cool. I was excited. I told Ashley like there's mini games in there, and she's like, mini games, can we play them now? And I was like, we cannot. We'll have to wait for the real game for that.
You mean to tell me that they put the mini games in the actual video game rather than making the mini games this freaking segmented thing for no reason at all?
Like, just did a menu for
like
so weird.
So weird.
You could have so easily, going back to Star Allies, there's an overworld that you go around and you pick a level. You could just make the mini games be, at least that's one way to get to them, is that like that you unlock them one at a time, and like in each world there's one mini game thing that you can like go and do it, and then it'll also be in the menu in the backside, and that feels fine to be like, oh, I've already done this in the world, and like now I'll go to a menu and get it. But yeah, so weird. But it is nice. It seems like that they've generally like listened to feedback as well, or probably some of their some of the things that they wanted to do also aligned with things that people wanted out of them. But somebody, I think it was Steve at Good Vibes Gaming was saying that they'd mentioned hearing the feedback about a harder difficulty and therefore added in a harder difficulty. So like that's always nice to like know that they're considering the things people are saying. Like people give bad feedback all the time, but but it's nice to know that like the good stuff also, it's
which is the good thing about the internet, because it's like there's a lot of bad feedback, but then there's good feedback, and as long as you look at all of it and you're able to tell the difference, then we turn out with better games.
That's true.
If I was a game developer, immediately it's like how I deal with any online discourse. The second that somebody's like idiot, or like they turn it into like an insult thing, like it becomes like an argument over green pixels on the screen, that's when I just tune out everything that they say. And I hope that game developers do the same thing. I know some do for a fact, but I hope that most of them are like, okay, you're toxic, I don't care about what you want. And they just go to the people that are more constructive than that.
No, I definitely agree. But I mean, I guess it's also good to like, I bet at some of these companies, they have people that like, I don't know, go out and sift through that stuff. You know what I mean? Like just, I don't know. That would be, I feel like that would be a beneficial thing to do, is like, all right, go check out all the feedback, see what people are saying, and like take back any things that you think are beneficial stuff from there.
That would be good.
They don't, I don't know.
I bet like some companies do that, like, because that's kind of what the social media manager does, right? They sift through a lot of feedback, but I would be curious to see how many game developers actually like take that into consideration for like actual development,
I was listening to the Kit and Krista podcast, one of the episodes, and they were talking about something. They were talking about like Smash and Smashes Online, and maybe it was a Q&A that somebody asked, but they were like, and the online's, it's not great, it's pretty bad, but they know that, like, basically they were like, the people know that, but it's like, what are you going to do about it, kind of a thing. And I was like, that's interesting to hear from them, that like, I mean, I would assume that people know that they're not just like, yep, must probably be great, like never used it, but probably really good online or something.
Because the thing
But
is, like, it's not bad for them, like it is
right.
designed for Japan. They are thinking about Japan, and their internet is significantly better than our internet.
Yeah.
And as somebody that has pretty good internet, when I'm playing with somebody else that has pretty good internet, there's no problems. I would never know that Smashes Online was bad if I was always playing with other people that also had good internet.
Yep.
But it's so like apparent here because most people in this country have garbage internet. So it's like it's the whole situation of like when something goes wrong or like when something's not working and you go to show somebody that, hey, this thing's not working, and then it works. It's like that. On top of the fact that like soccer, I don't care about that. So,
yeah, right.
It's like whatever, dude.
Yeah, that's true. But yep. So that's that. Kirby Forgotten Lands. I'm looking forward to playing it.
I probably will play it on Monday.
Nice.
On stream.
So there you go. And then now, man, we're going to be talking about Pokemon probably quite a bit here now. So let's do it. There was the Pokemon Day last week last Sunday. We guessed some stuff that would
Which
be
is
there.
Terrible. That's terrible that they did that to us on Sunday. But I mean, that's how the calendar worked out.
Yeah. Ezra woke up at like, I don't know, 4 a.m. or 3 a.m. that morning and like wouldn't go back to sleep. So then I brought her in the room with us and she was just laying there. And then I happened to wake up. I set my alarm for like 7:55 or something. And I woke up at like 7:53 because the thing was at 8. And just like kind of turned on the TV in the room, went to YouTube and found it. And then at 7:59, I tapped Ashley because she wanted to watch it too. And I was like, hey, the thing's on the TV. And so yeah, Alex said she was excited for once. She was thrilled. But yeah, that was a cute mini case. Just like
I was talking about, because people were like, you should stream it. I'm like, absolutely not. I am not streaming it because I'm probably not even gonna, like, there's a 50-50 chance of like whether I'm gonna wake up or not. But the thing is, like, whenever there's like a direct or something like that, I usually end up waking up, not because I'm like setting alarms or just because that's how my brain works. And it's like there's a thing that you need to pay attention to. Wake up. But I still wasn't going to stream because then I gotta wake up earlier. Like watching how I watched, I woke up at 8:30 and I was like, okay, where's my iPad? But like I wake up at like freaking 7:30 or something and get ready for the day.
That's true.
I don't gotta do that if I'm just watching on my iPad.
And it's fun, to just do that. So yeah, I mean, you woke up, you watched it. The first whole bunch of announcements were like mostly kind of just
here's a small update to the existing game that we have,
which is neat. And I was not mad about a single one of them, but also was like, all right, cool. The only one that like
about what I expected.
Yeah, right. Legends Arceus one was pretty neat. I haven't done that stuff.
I did it and I hate it. I mean, I don't hate all of it, but I hate the first part because it's freaking very fetch questy, like it feels like they're like, we need to add more length to the video. No. And it's like, I mean, if you do it in bits and pieces and you just do it as you want to do it, I imagine that's better. But how I was doing it specifically for stream, it was annoying because it is like, at least the first part of the mission, you need like these the mass outbreaks. They only happen when there's a rainstorm, or for the Alabaster or whatever, it's a blizzard. That's RNG. So I had to keep leaving the thing and going back to Jubilife and keep doing that until it was the right weather conditions. And then trying to farm 3 of these outbreaks within the time of it having these weather conditions, because they stop and it tells you, it's like, oh, the weather's about to stop, or so annoying. I hated it. But like, if you're not on a like time constraint, you don't have any real reason to rush it, it's neat. It's a cool thing to be like, oh, it just so happens to be a blizzard, I'll do this outbreak or whatever. So
that's such a fine line to walk. That like, of how you do that kind of stuff. Because like on the other hand, unless you're still like actively playing the game at that point, which I mean maybe people definitely could be, um you could easily just does it only happen if you've beaten the game?
I think so,
Okay. I
which
could
is
see a
bad.
lot of people. Yeah, I could see a lot of people just being like, all right, well, I think I'm done. So like basically the like casually playing for a long time after that feels less likely to happen, to where like I feel
Mhm.
like you're in the more likely scenario of wanting to go ahead and like
Get it
make it
done.
happen. Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
Then somebody just like, be bopping around every
yeah,
once in a while and that kind of
exactly.
thing.
So it was like that was annoying. I like the idea. I like the massive mass outbreaks. They're cool.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't like the fact that it had this very specific quest of like go to this area and farm 3 of these, then
Yeah.
go to this area and farm 3 more, and then go to this area and farm, it's like that's a
Uh-huh.
very annoying thing. And it doesn't even let you do the other stuff like the like battle challenges and stuff like that until you do that, and I
Oh,
don't like
weird.
that either.
Yeah.
So
What are the battle challenges like, or how
I
are they
don't
different?
know. I just beat the outbreaks. I have no idea. I will find that out
Yeah.
probably on Monday after I beat Kirby.
Yep. Man, that's funny. What uh, so yeah, I haven't done that stuff yet. I'm still working through my decks. Which I need to figure out a better way to do it, because it's right now playing. The reason I played Ollie Switch Dance was because as I was playing Pokemon, hey, it's been a stressful week. I was talking about it before we started. Like my wife's been really sick this week, and so I've been uh, keeping the baby and stuff as well. And it's been things. But yeah, just playing and is stressful a little bit. And specifically, like, yeah, I mean, Alex said spreadsheet. I honestly like, I would like to make a spreadsheet for this. I
I
don't
hate
really
it.
want to take the time to do it
I hate it.
from the amount of effort that I want to put it in. Like in my mind, I'm just kind of wrapping things up a little bit. And that feels like a lot of setup work for just like wrapping things up. But especially the like, here's my biggest gripe is the research level stuff. I I hate that you have to open the Pokedex and find maybe I'm
Yes.
missing something, but like, why can't I go to the Pokemon that I have on my team and just,
And
instead of check summary, be like, check research level,
yeah.
you know?
Or even
That,
do the thing with the freaking video game when you can aim at the
yes,
Pokemon
that
and
also just
do that with a
throw them out,
Pokemon that I
look at
own.
them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Instead of speaking to them, target them. I tried that. I like,
You
yeah, I
can't.
checked
You
it out.
can't. But
You
it would
cannot.
be cool if you could.
Yes,
There's
it
a
would
lot of
be. It
stuff
would make
that's
sense if you could.
yes, there's a lot of stuff like that like
Ugh.
that's another reason that is reason 4,000 why this game is not the Breath of the Wild of Pokemon. Because in the Breath of the Wild of Pokemon, you would be able to just do that. And
Yeah.
it would be like, I wonder if I can do this. And the game is like, duh, idiot. Of course you can do that. Why can't you? Why wouldn't you be able to do that? But you can't.
Yeah.
So
So that's definitely a nuisance. But in any case, I'm going through getting the last legendaries, and then I've got a couple just like random ones. Like I didn't know
4,000.
Vulpix and
I
Ninetales were even
have
in the
way
game.
more than 4,000 reasons. Way more. There's several.
Like
TBD, you'll
4003.
find
Yeah.
there's like at least 40,000, at least, dude.
It's a lot.
But you'll find that out
Yep.
in the future. I'm editing a video. I'm editing a video.
Indeed.
Would you say over 9,000? For sure, definitely, for sure.
So here's the question. With in regards to the update that we got.
Oh,
there's an
also,
update-
wait, are we still talking about Arceus? Because there's
Yep.
another update thing. Okay.
That's the one, but go carry on.
I mean, if we're still talking about Arceus, we might as well finish talking about Arceus, so we don't got to circle back and talk about Arceus.
Well, so here's the last thing I was going to say with Arceus.
Mhm.
Are you expecting more updates and more?
I think so, because
Okay.
this is
Me too.
1.1.
1.1.
Yeah, like why would
It
they
would
do
be
that?
very bizarre.
Yeah,
in my
that's
opinion.
weird. So I think that like, and even if it like, I feel like if they didn't plan to do more stuff, it would have been like 1.05 or what, like it wouldn't have been like a whole dot number. So I feel like they're planning to do more. I expect one paid update, says Alec. I could see that, but also I feel like there's probably going to be another free thing or two.
Yeah.
I could
I
see
think
them
the
getting
paid
to
update would be
1.5 from free stuff and then doing 2.0 for a paid update. But like
yeah,
also I kind of don't think that because
because Gen 9.
yeah.
That's what I think too, is like I definitely would have expected a paid update if we weren't getting Gen 9 this holiday. But with that, it makes it, I mean, they know people will buy it. So like
Yeah.
they could do a summer paid update for $20 or
Yeah.
something.
That would be neat. It's a lot of Pokemon,
Especially
which
if
I'm
it's
down
on,
for.
yeah, if I mean they're not going to put it on the expansion pack because it's Pokemon, but
Yeah.
if they did, that would
That'd
be
be neat.
nice.
That'd be neat.
So, but yeah, all right. So be that was everything. That was everything Pokemon Legend Arceus specifically. What was the thing you were going to say?
Brilliant Diamond. I played that
Oh
video
my
game
goodness.
for the shaman thing. That game, man, that game is so dumb. I
Yep.
don't like that game, man.
I
It's unfortunate.
somebody who posted one of those like you got $20 to spend on these game, like it was it's these dollars, or these games cost $1, these games cost whatever, and you have to like pick between, and Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl was in like the $4 or $5 slot,
Which is
and
like,
I was
what?
like, guys,
Yeah, nah, nobody's paying that.
made
I'm not
mistakes.
taking freaking 25% of my money to buy that video game. Are you crazy?
Yeah.
Like, and again, I say
yeah.
every time I talk about this game, I need to make sure to preface it. It has nothing to do with the fact that it's like a bare
Outsourced or
bones
anything.
update.
Yeah.
I don't care about that. I'm fine with that. My problem is Gen 4 sucks. That is my problem. So like in some ways it's like, oh, it wasn't a bigger update or whatever, but they would have had to do a bigger update than they have ever done in the history of Pokemon. Like people are talking about they want an Alpha Sapphire, Omega Ruby sort of situation. It would need to be way more like care in the video game for it to make Gen 4 not be garbage. Like that's the thing. Like even Platinum is like, I mean, this is serviceable, I guess. Like Platinum takes the other Gen 4 games, which are actively bad, and makes it serviceable. Like for them to make a good remake and like add stuff to the video game, it would not have been worth. Like they were borderline making Arceus at that point. If they were to do that. But yeah, no, going back to that game sucked. Because it's like I had to freaking go back to Victory Road and then go through the path that I specifically need to go to get to the town or the route that I can go to Professor Oak, and he tells me to get shaman, and I run down this freaking Mario 64 stair endless situation path to get shaman, and then I just freaking throw an ultra ball at it, and then that was my life. I spent like an hour trying to get to this specific place for this very anticlimactic encounter with shaman, and I'm never playing the game again. So that was that.
Good call. On never playing again, that is. Yeah.
It's so sad.
It is. I mean, I'm very glad that they outsourced it.
Yes.
And I hope that
this is more a complaint to 2007 Game Freak for making Pokemon Diamond and Pearl than it is to Ilka for remaking Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Pokemon.
The irony is, back when the trailer for it came out and somebody made the like, here's my fan made trailer that's like way better than it and stuff, that game would have looked, I mean, if they'd gone with that, blah, 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 like would have looked better and
still would have sucked. Still would have been bad. Man, this is a pretty game that they spent way more money than they should have. And it sucks. This game terrible. So
yeah, I'm very glad that I'm glad with the way that everything panned out, because it means that like we got Legends Arceus, that we if they were that confident in that game instead, in like the remake and stuff, maybe they wouldn't have remade, or they wouldn't have done Legends Arceus and blah 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 blah. So, but they did, and that's nice. Yep. And because of Legends Arceus, in relation to that, we got an announcement for Pokemon Scarlet and Pokemon Violet.
True.
Which I was
You have many questions,
surprised.
so that can be the guide, I guess.
Yeah, I'm mostly just putting things that like will be interesting to talk about with it. But
because I know like you seem more on the like concern train than I am. Like
I'm actually not that. I at first I was like, I mean, I was definitely surprised. Like I was not expecting
surprised.
Gen 9 this year.
I wasn't surprised. But the thing about it is like I was like I wanted them, and even this like as lowercase unbolded as humanly possible. I wanted them to take more time, but I'm not a game developer, so I can't say they needed to take more time. I didn't play this video game, so I don't know what more time would have done for them. I don't know how they're using the like, you know, like doubled staff that they've gotten since making Pokemon Sword and Shield. So I can't say how like rushed this game is. I don't know when they started this game. So for me to like have that stance of like and to look at the game and see that like not only is it an obvious improvement over Sword and Shield, it looks like an obvious improvement over Arceus.
I think that's what I was going to say is like bare minimum right now, it's Arceus in a different location with a different structure, and that's bare minimum, and that's right now.
That's all,
and we've
like,
got
that is the most reasonable
like 9
thing
months
that we could have. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That is the most reasonable thing that we could have asked for. Like, do I want a Pokemon Breath of the Wild or whatever? Sure. I mean, this could still very well be that. I doubt it, but it could be. Do I need it to be for it to like be a game that's worth purchasing? Absolutely not. Because the thing is, like, people are still less so now. We're still gushing about Horizon Forbidden West, and that's not the Breath of the Wild of that game. And that game existed in the same time frame as Breath of the Wild, you know, and it's on a console that's double the price. So like, if we can be satisfied with that just being a linear improvement of this game's world within its own world and its own, you know, franchise, why can't Pokemon progress on its own path? You know, like I don't need them to bend over backwards to evolve at the same pace or a faster pace, actually. As another popular game that we like, you know, like I don't need that. I just need them to continue to improve on themselves because they spent 20 years not even really trying to do that. Yeah. So I'm just happy that they're trying.
It is interesting that like the conversation was that like, well, Nintendo's trying this thing, or Game Freak's trying this thing out with Arceus, and they're gonna see how it goes and whatever, and based on that maybe they'll add. And then it's like, no, they were making a game and they're like, all right, this is the game where we're testing out all this stuff so that we can like refine it for the later game kind of thing, more or less, you know, something along those lines, where it's like it's either that or it's also like, everybody get ready, this is the way we're going for the next mainline game.
It's like
it's prepping us and practice for them.
We want to do this. Are you guys cool with that? Is this cool? Y'all down? Okay, bet we'll do that then.
Yeah, I mean, it would have been really interesting to see like what would have happened if everybody hated Legends Arceus. You know, I think you as a game developer, you can know pretty well whether or not that's going to happen.
They knew if people would like this game while they were developing this game, because you know, there's, you know, focus groups and play tests and stuff like they can gauge the room and say like, oh, okay, we're having positive responses with the people that have tested this game, so we can, you know, full send on the direction that we wanted to do. But at the same time, it's even more useful to have that test on the grand, like on the grand stage, you know, all 20 million people that are probably going to buy Arceus. Well, it's probably going to be less than that now. I feel like a lot of people are 9.
That is interesting. Yeah, just that people might I guess it seems soon in my mind, less from even a development standpoint. And I don't even necessarily think that it seems soon. It's just like, whoa, we were just playing this other game that feels like a big it would be like if
See, but that's the thing though. Like, I know a lot of people are like, man, I would have been happy with Arceus for another year or whatever. Arceus is not lasting me another year.
No,
I can
yeah.
guarantee you that. I will be playing Pokemon Sword and Shield way before, like, 6 months from now, I'm not playing Arceus. It's done.
Right.
Unless
Yeah.
they keep releasing some type of update that makes me go back for a week, So I think it's good
Yeah.
on that end for them to like release a game closer to Arceus in terms of like the grandness and the like the changes and stuff like that actually has legs, like a game that will be able to last longer naturally.
I mean, because that's definitely, like at this point, I don't know what the competitive scene like or whatever in Sword and Shield, but like theoretically, they need to rejuvenate that kind of thing every once in a while.
Because they're still
too.
using Sword and Shield for competitive. They're in like season 12 or something crazy like that.
So like, because that's it. Yeah, for me, it's in terms of like things being too soon, it's more about like gameplay and franchise fatigue than it is about anything else. Of like, do I want to play two of a very similar game within 12 months of each other? And oftentimes, depending on the genre, for sure, that may or may not be the case. Like there's so that is the question for this one too, is like, by the time, it's hard right now for me to want to think about starting playing an open world Pokemon game when I'm winding down a different open world Pokemon game.
But that's the thing though. I feel like
but by the time December comes around or whatever,
that didn't happen from Brilliant Diamond to Arceus, right? Like, because it was a better, bigger experience and stuff like that. I think the same thing is going to happen here because you're not playing an open world Pokemon game.
Yeah, right.
You're playing a segmented sandbox Pokemon game, and this is an open world Pokemon game to their own, admission. Like they never called Arceus an open world game,
right?
That was something that people said, like they saw that, like they saw the freaking Vista, they saw the Breath of the Wild shot, quote unquote, and they were like, it's open world Pokemon, but they, out of their own mouths with their whole chest, called this an open world Pokemon game. And that, I think, was like, that alone is enough for me to be like, I'm super down for this. Give me this, and I want to see where their head's at with that, because like every like test that they're like, hey, what if we try this with Pokemon? Every time they've done that, I'm like, more of that. Give me more. Like, expand on this. So I want to see what that is with like their own self-admitted open world game. How will this then grow? What is the wild area into Legends Arceus, into Gen 9? What is that? What does that evolution look like? And where could they grow from there?
Yeah, I mean, already just like visually, it's looking not like eons better than Arceus is, but it's looking a little bit better for sure.
Like it is definitely like, it's noticeable. Like it's like,
and it's so much further out. So they've got tons of time to work on that kind of stuff or whatever. So like that's fun. Not that that's everything by any means. I've said plenty of times that I
don't like, see, the thing is like, I don't care about the visuals of the game, but like, it is obvious that they improved, and that is worth noting, especially for people that are like trying to like act like the game is less valuable, or Pokemon like Arceus or Sword and Shield or whatever is less valuable because of its visuals, and that they're not trying and they're lazy and blah blah blah. The fact that like every game since then is like improving on itself is proof that like they are trying to, like, they're working on this, and their priorities are different from yours, but it is at least a priority, and you should be happy about that. Because they could, if I was Game Freak, I don't care at all. I'm releasing the first game of the generation. I'm like, this is what this generation looks like, and we're improving on everything else around it. And then next generation, you'll see another visual increase, because who cares? Like, I don't give a crap beyond the trailers and the first time I play the video game. After the first time I play the video game, I don't care what the visuals look like. I don't care.
Yeah. As Alex said, the player character's eyes are off. I do agree with that the player character looks a little bit
See, me
empty
personally,
inside.
as far as the
Hopefully that changes.
as far as I go with the visuals, I don't like hyper realistic Pokemon. I think that
Oh, totally agree.
is a stupid look, and I think that this is like veering closer to that than I would want it to. As far as like trying to like emulate like a more realistic art style rather than going more in the like cartoony like anime sort of visual aesthetic, which I think fits Pokemon more. I think that them going more like even like in a Pixar direction is bad for Pokemon. I think Pokemon would look better, as I talk about at the time, if it was Dragon Ball Fighters, Ni no Kuni, even, you know. I think that aesthetic fits Pokemon a lot better.
I definitely agree. I was talking with Mitch about that the other day. I was saying something about like, something graphics, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, I don't really want the graphics to be good because, I think he was thinking,
he was thinking hyper realistic.
He was thinking Detective Pikachu movie kind of thing. And I was like, oh, no, agreed. That would be bad. I would not like that. But I was saying like, but it would be nice if they were like more just well perfected as far as the thing that it should be, whatever that is, and ideally, I agree that like that it looks like the show would probably be the best thing, or like the movies,
100%.
like and not like the movies like Mewtwo Strikes Back.
Any of the like the Pokemon Origins.
Because I guess that is the thing,
whatever, is like literally any of those, the freaking promotional material for Arceus, even like the Ken Sugimori like watercolor, like it could be that, or there's so freaking Mystery Dungeon Deluxe on the Switch. If it was that art style, that would be sick. Just do that.
It feels like, especially what's the words I'm looking for? Like new Pokemon Snap, especially the characters in that felt very similar to like Mewtwo Strikes Back.
Yes, 100%
CGI kind of thing. And I'm not. I thought they were fine in new Pokemon Snap for what it's worth. Like I thought they looked good, and it worked in there for whatever reason. And like
I think the characters
beautiful and stuff.
I think the characters look bad in new Pokemon.
Characters look generic.
I think that, which is the same thing to me.
Yeah.
But the Pokemon, a lot of the Pokemon, at least like Torterra is an example of Pokemon that looks phenomenal in that art style. But not every Pokemon looks good in that art style.
Right.
So I think that it would just be better if they, in the. I feel like new Pokemon Snap and like those type of art style, like trying to chase the Detective Pikachu look, feels like Smash Bros. Brawl, where they went hyper realistic, and because of that, the game looks terrible. It looks so bad now. Like it looks garbage. But when people first saw it, it was like, oh, this is incredible. Look at the denim on Mario. It's like, but now it looks bad. Like Melee looks better than Brawl, and that's not good. I don't like. That's how I feel about Pokemon Snap. Where it's like some Pokemon look great, and
and I think they picked Pokemon accordingly. It seems like in new Pokemon Snap, like they picked Pokemon that would look good in that style. Because I generally think, I don't know that there's any that I saw that I was like, oh, okay, that was a choice.
I just think that there's like a lot of Pokemon where it's kind of like Detective Pikachu. They talked about how they would come to certain Pokemon, and like, all right, what texture is this Pokemon?
Yeah, right.
Like, what is Pikachu supposed to be? Pikachu looks kind of smooth, and like that sort of thing. That's why Pokemon should not look hyper realistic, because they didn't answer that for you. So you're trying to make up these solutions, and then you're going to come out on the other end most of the time looking wrong to most people that have experienced this in this very specific way. Whereas if you just emulate the animated look, it can look good and technically impressive or whatever, but still be like true to the designs of these characters without having to solve for problems that shouldn't really exist.
You can do a lot more with it too, as far as like one of the kinds of things that I hope changes in this game, based on like, again, the reactions were way better in Legends Arceus than in other Pokemon games. So cool. That's good. Would be great if they were better though, because and that's something that can be more easily accomplished in I don't know, like there's just standard anime faces, you know what I mean? Like that happen with the like, big sweat bubble or whatever, where like if you just lean into like an anime aesthetic, honestly, my favorite, I was just talking about it this week, is have you watched any One Punch Man?
I saw like the first episode or two.
Okay. It's fun. It's a good show. But the whole premise is he's very strong and stuff, but he's also kind of dumb and like whatever. And they do a good job of like, there's moments where he's very serious and he's like a super, jagged jaw, hard guy with it's like, I am, and like the art style shows it
with the okay meme.
Yes, exactly. With just like the derpy face. Those kinds of things are things that imagine like new Pokemon Snap arts out. Like you cannot do that stuff with that. But even in Pokemon, like even in watching, like, I mean, as early as Gen 1, like all of Pokemon that I remember at least, and I've missed a lot of it, so I don't know. But Sun and Moon onwards, especially, I feel like have kind of leaned more into the like silly,
the like noodle animation.
Like which is, it probably takes a minute to get used to, I'm sure. And maybe they don't know.
I think a lot of Pokemon does that anyway. Like even in the more like Pokemon X and Y, which looks super like freaking Dragon Ball GT, like and it looks like a shonen anime movie. Even in that, there's like moments where Pikachu is like, I can make myself look like Mudkip. Look, and then he like freaking moves his ears and like, it like steers into the skid of like, yes, I am animated.
I think that's just fun.
That fits Pokemon more. That is where I would be like, that's where I care about the visuals or whatever. I don't care on the technical end. I don't give a crap about that. I don't,
especially for like
to be immersed in Pokemon, because there's no way I will be. I know that the rats in the real world can't shoot me with Thunderbolt.
Mice on the other hand, no, but exactly. I remember people complaining in the trailers for Legends Arceus that like some Pokemon are moving like 4 frames a second or whatever, and that totally stuck throughout the game, where like if they're a certain distance away, they have like 2 animations per second or something like that, where like you see a Staraptor that's like barely off in the distance, like, and then as it gets closer, it like starts moving more smoothly and stuff. And I don't know, I'm just very fine with it. Like I just truly don't. I don't know, something about that. I almost like it. I don't know, maybe not, but I don't know. It's just
I never notice it. I never notice it. Like the only thing that I do notice on a technical end that is like not even necessarily annoying, but like I do notice it, is like the pop it. Like that's it.
Yes,
that is the only technical thing that I'm like, oof, But like
especially when something pops in, like there's been some times where like, wait, isn't there supposed to be an alpha like right here? And then I'm just standing there and just like it just appears like on top of me. I'm like, oh, okay.
Right.
Sorry,
that
buddy.
type of stuff, I'm like, oh shoot. But like what the Pokemon looks like when it's 500 feet away from me, I don't care. I don't care. The only time that I even give a little bit of a crap of Pokemon that are far away from me is if it's a shiny, like that's the only time I'm even looking that far.
That's true.
Other than that, I'm looking freaking 10 feet in front of me. I don't really care about what the Pokemon way in the distance look like. Hence why they prioritize it like that, because they're thinking like,
exactly,
that far. You don't gotta care about that.
And I mean, speaking of looking at Pokemon nearby and interacting with them, do we think with this being open world and stuff and more standard Pokemon affair, is catching gonna stay the same or not stay the same?
I think that
because
this
big
feels
question.
like it could be an overworld in the Pokemon situation, where they spend so long trying to like misdirect us and be like, hey man, this is a regular Pokemon game, dude. Remember, I was like so disappointed. That was like, it did not look like it was in the game. And then when the game, like they fully revealed the game and we played the game, it's like they're everywhere. Like there's literally no place, even outside of the wild area, there are Pokemon that are in the overworld. I think that there's a real possibility that could be the case here. And if you look at like the shots that they have of like trainer battles or whatever, it looks like they at the very least are doing like the Dragon Quest 11, like your character can move around.
I mean, or Legends Arceus, same thing.
But I just mean like Dragon Quest 11 did it first, so it's
Right.
like it's
Yes,
like that
yes.
style of thing, you know.
Mhm.
It looks like they're doing that where it's like it doesn't really mean anything, you know.
Yeah.
Which maybe
I
it could mean something in this game. I doubt it, but
I think the only bit I remember, I listened to a little bit of NVC for this week, and Casey DeFreitas pointed out that somewhere it says, and these things
which
aren't
is dumb.
mutually
I saw
exclusive.
it. I saw it. I
Yeah.
saw it. You're talking about where they were like battle and catch
Yeah,
Pokemon,
right.
or where you battle and catch Pokemon in Arceus. You know,
Yeah,
like
exactly.
that doesn't prove or disprove literally anything.
Agreed.
Because that was like the first thing that because I was like, if you can't like jokingly
Mhm.
obviously, which I'm probably still I'm gonna do it just because it's fun and funny if I did that. But I was saying that like if they don't let you catch Pokemon in the overworld like you can in Arceus, I'm gonna write a diss track to Pokemon Company. And then somebody replied and was like, better write that diss track because here's this
Right.
pull
Yeah.
or whatever. And I'm like, that doesn't mean anything. Like
Mhm.
that means nothing. Y'all
Yeah.
are grasping at straws to be mad at stuff. It's like,
Yeah, that I think your point with the way that they the lead up to not legendary Sword and Shield specifically, I think really drives that home, that like there's a lot of things that they just kind of like omit until they don't anymore.
mhm,
And I'm sure for them it's like so that you can be excited about it when we
exactly.
talk about it, but instead it just does this whole thing of us being mad about it first, and
No,
then
but even then, I think that it has the desired effect for sure.
yeah,
Because,
yeah,
and I
not
would say
wrong.
it's probably even more dramatic when people get mad about it at first, and
Yeah,
then they're proven wrong, and it's like, oh shoot, you know. A
yeah,
lot of people don't admit to that, you know,
uh-huh.
and say like, oh, I was wrong. They're just like, see, the thing that's most frustrating is people that are like, see, they listened. They
Right,
put
yeah, yeah,
overworld
that
Pokemon
is.
in Sword and Shield after we were mad that they weren't there.
Mhm.
They ran to their PC and they've said overworld Pokemon and they clicked true.
Run.
You know,
Yeah.
like they dragged and dropped the overworld Pokemon protocol and
Mhm.
it was in the game because we made noise.
Mad lads.
Like, oh my god, I hate
Yeah,
you.
it's true. That's very silly. Yeah, it's yeah, it'll be interesting to find that out though, because like what I'm most curious about is like the gameplay purpose for doing that in Legends Arceus makes sense.
Mhm.
And so do they have to contextualize it differently, or can they just use the same like research levels and Pokedex stuff,
I
you
don't
know,
even
as
necessarily think it makes any more or less sense in this
well, I
context
guess I more
because
mean
like
like catching multiple of the same Pokemon kinds of a thing,
true
or easily catching a Pokemon, because that's
easily
the
see the
incentive.
thing is like easily catching a Pokemon I feel
Mhm.
like has a very similar like use case of
Yeah.
it just removing annoying
Yeah, you're not
aspects to the
wrong.
game, you know, like it's like in Mother 3. I think it does
Mhm.
it in Earthbound. I'm pretty sure it does in Earthbound too.
It's Earthbound, yeah, as well.
Yeah, I know Mother 3 does it more
Yeah.
specifically, but I didn't
Mhm.
remember if Earthbound did. But when you're so much higher level than a thing, it just dies.
Yep.
That is a similar thing where it's like I don't want to do all the pomp and circumstance just to
Mhm.
battle this level 5 Shinx and catch it. I just want to throw the
Mhm.
Pokeball and it stays in the Pokeball and it's caught, you know,
Yeah.
like that sort of thing. I
I
think
definitely, yeah, I agree with like sorry, go ahead.
because like if the I think that the reason why they did that is to make the like the process of catching multiple Pokemon less annoying. Not
Uh-huh.
because it was like needed, but just because it made it feel less of like a chore and honestly more fun, you know, like they
Mhm. Yeah.
rewarded you for doing a thing that like normally would have been super annoying.
Yeah.
Um and I think that in this instance it would be less annoying because you're not catching every Pokemon, but
Mhm.
still less annoying. And also it's a thing that people now find fun, you know, like it's fun
Mhm.
to have to aim at the Pokemon and be
Yep.
like, oh man, I missed it. Crap. All right, throw another one, you know, like that's
Yeah.
fun.
And
um
like there is a risk reward to it as well, and like especially if they make some Pokemon be, which I'm sure is already the case, or is already the case, some Pokemon are easier to catch, and others are harder to catch just in Pokeballs or whatever,
mhm,
like that definitely is the case, at least with like alphas and stuff, um to where like sometimes it might be simpler to catch it without battling it, but it's like, oh, but then it could run away instead,
Right.
as
Exactly.
opposed to, you know, those kinds of things. So like, so you still have to weigh your options. Like that's, I appreciate all that because it's true. Like as I'm going later in the game, like earlier on, I caught so many Bidoofs and so many Weasels and stuff. But outside of like trying to max out research level kinds of things,
You
later
never
in the
caught
game,
another Bidoof.
I
Yeah.
was just catching, I was, you know, I would run it, I'd be like, oh, cool, a Glalie, and then I'd catch that. And then I've got the one, and
Mm-hmm.
then move on, you know, like, or really I'd catch an alpha one and then, you know, move on from
Yeah.
there.
Yep.
But I'm not catching a lot of them just for the sake of it anymore
Right.
anyway. So like, um, yeah, it's just more fun to do that. And it kind of like that one kind of viral video of the guy trying to catch the Cherim or whatever, or Cherubi or whatever it was,
Mhm.
where his whole party got wiped just trying to catch a Pokemon because it wouldn't stay in the Pokeball.
Mhm.
That like it is really annoying to lose so many of your Pokemon just because you're trying to keep the other Pokemon at red health
Yep.
while you throw Pokeballs and
Mhm.
stuff. Ugh. Yeah. So I
Yeah.
hope it sticks around. I'd be sad if it didn't. I
Yeah.
guess. Oh, on top
I
of that,
think that's
though.
the sort of thing that like it will eventually stick around. If
Mhm,
it sticks around
mhm.
this time, I'm not sure. But I
That's a good
think
point.
that
Yeah.
like there will be enough feedback,
Yeah.
mostly toxic. That's like, no, we want this. Keep it in the game. And then they're like, all
Uh-huh.
right, fine. Keep it in the game.
Yeah.
Kind of
Do
like
you think?
following Pokemon, like
Yeah. Right.
they
Oh,
haven't
that's.
not done that. They have not done that since they brought it
Mhm.
back in Let's Go. Because at first they didn't do it in Sword and Shield, and
Uh-huh.
then with the DLC, they're like, okay, it's back, it's back.
Yeah.
Well, Arceus they don't do it, but
Yeah.
Arceus is even more dramatic, where it's like you can throw out all your Pokemon, they don't do anything, but they're here.
Yeah. Um. Similar lines. Do you think that crafting stuff and gathering resources is still around? I
I
would
don't know.
imagine.
I don't
I
know.
if it's not, I will be sad. Is how I feel about it because otherwise, like there's something to be said for like just in an open world, finding
Yeah, true,
Pokemon
true,
is an
true, true,
important part
true.
of it, but
Yep.
finding stuff is also like,
Yeah.
I don't know, that feels like kind of essential. So,
Yeah.
no, no, we'll see how that pans out. But I will be legitimately sad if there's no more of that.
Crafting.
Even if
Yeah.
somebody doesn't end up using, that's all I use. Like I don't buy Pokeballs. I
I
just
buy
craft them.
Pokemon because it's like I like the main reason why I buy Pokeballs is
Mhm.
because when you break the like freaking gem situations, it doesn't
Uh-huh.
give you enough apricots for it to even be worth, or not the
Mhm.
apricot, the
The
tumblestone.
tumblestones.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it doesn't give you enough if it gave me like 20 tumblestone or whatever, I would be breaking them all the time. But the fact
Uh-huh.
that it only gives me one, I'm like, I don't care to break that unless it's sparkling.
Yeah.
So I always end up not having enough, and it's
I
just
probably
easier to like.
would. I as I keep going, like if I were going to play a lot longer, I probably would just buy them instead. Because
Mm,
so far, I've also been exploring at the same time. So like
mm,
exploring and doing that works in conjunction pretty well. But then as soon as you're going for a specific purpose, you're just going to pass all the tumblestones. Like you don't need all those. So yeah, I
mm.
can see that for sure.
It just, I think a lot of it is because it's like it just adds a little bit of friction. It's a little
Hmm.
bit, to be fair, because it's like I
Yeah.
throw the Pokemon out, and
Yeah.
then like if I run into another thing that I need a Pokemon for, I could just switch my Pokemon and throw out that Pokemon, and
Hmm.
it still have it break the thing in the background or whatever. But
Yeah.
I don't always feel like doing that. So like if I run into a Pokemon and I need to catch it or whatever, I want to have my first Pokemon in my party available to me.
Hmm.
So I'm not gonna like take the 4 seconds or whatever to be like, yo, break that one, get that one tumblestone. Thank you. Come back. All right, I can use you again. There you
Uh-huh.
go.
Yeah.
Um, I feel like the breaking those stones is not usually rewarding enough for me to
Hmm.
want to stop my progression
Yeah.
or my momentum forward to break them.
Yeah. I feel that. Other thoughts or questions or whatever that the obvious one, gyms, any
I think
order
that
or specific order? What do we
this
think?
feels like to me it's a foregone conclusion.
Yeah.
Like it's like I feel like you can't have a Pokemon open world Pokemon game with a set gym order because
Right.
then it's not open.
fully agreed.
So I feel like there's, at the very least, it's going to be like Kanto, where like you get to a certain point of the game, like maybe the first few gyms are like linear because these are like the beginner gyms and we're going to teach you how to play the video game or whatever. And then eventually it opens up to you and it's like, all right, go wherever.
Yeah.
I feel like that might be the situation.
Yeah. And I mean, I guess the question is like with that, because I agree. I feel like for it to be open world, they've got to be able to be in any order. Whether that means their levels are scaled or adjusted, you know, like that's different. Like it could very well be that like, yeah, you can go to the 8th gym, quote unquote, if you want, but they're all level 53 and you've got a Togepi. So like, so they could do that or yeah, I mean, ideally they would do the whole like, oh, you've only got one badge. All right. You know, here's my 2 Pokemon, my 2 weakest Pokemon, you know, that kind of thing.
Or both. Be cool if they did both.
Yeah.
If they gave you the option, that'd be pretty sick.
It would be indeed. Yep. And so a couple other things. I do also wonder like level scaling, what that's going to be like in terms of like, I really enjoy catching the alphas and stuff like that in Legends Arceus, but it breaks the game super fast as far as battling.
What I don't like about the alphas is different than that.
Interesting. Tell me
I
more.
hope not. I hope there are no alphas.
Yeah, I like the
idea of like there being a chance that you can catch like the best version of this Pokemon or whatever, right? But I don't like the fact that the best version of this Pokemon is universally a giant Pokemon, and a lot of these universally giant Pokemon just endlessly spawn.
Yeah, right, exactly.
I think that is stupid.
Yeah.
And it kind of like breaks the game, and I think that that's also a big reason why like competitive is like hell to figure out in this in Arceus specifically, because it's like everybody's just going to use freaking alpha Pokemon, and that's it's so much cooler to me if it was like when I caught my first alpha, I'm like, yo, I just got this big Banerian. I was like showing it to Pete. I was like, yo, Bob, look at my big Banerian. But the fact that everybody can find that same Banerian easily, like super easily, it's not hard. It makes it less interesting.
It does. Yeah, for sure.
I think that if like alpha Pokemon or sometimes like, oh, this one's smaller, and that but because it's smaller, it's like significantly faster than the other ones, you know. Like if there were different attributes that a Pokemon could have that makes it visually different and gives it advantages or whatever, I would be fine with that. Especially if they are like actually rare. That would be cool too.
I mean, or if they can't be caught for some reason and they're a challenge thing, like you know, but even the parallel is like the Xenoblade thing of there's a Tyrannosaurus hanging out right there, and
there's just already Pokemon for that, you know, like,
right? Yeah,
Chomp can do that, you know, like
so that's the thing is like I feel like it's fun to have that imposing threat there and make it feel like the way Xenoblade does it, I think is just as fun. Like I enjoy that kind of world building or whatever, that there's this super song thing right there. But if you can catch it, which it's super easy to catch alphas, like, you know, just throw a raspberry and then just crawl up behind him and chuck a Gigaton ball.
The thing about that, I was going to say, like how in the wild area and to some degree Arceus does this a little bit, but like it doesn't wall you from catching stuff, but it kind of walls you from catching stuff because once you catch it, it's like useless. I hope that they don't arbitrarily do that in this game, especially in the Sword and Shield way, where it's like can't catch this Pokemon, you don't have 4 badges yet, like,
that's dumb. That was like especially because like I think progression wise it makes sense to do something within that vein,
like the gym badge thing that makes sense within the context of the world. They have made that an accepted thing across the board because it is even true in the anime, you know, like that's where it's like, oh, okay, that makes sense. My Pokemon doesn't respect me enough to listen to me. Checks out. Totally down with that, but not being able to catch it is stupid. You know?
Yes. Yeah. Right. Yeah. I think also like something about being like them overtly saying now Pokemon up to level 35 will respect you.
Yeah.
Like
Yep.
feels weird. Like
Yep.
I don't like in the real world, the arbitrary thing of like it would be way better if it just was a behind the scenes thing. And it was like, man, this strong Pokemon just like will not listen to me. And like they're so strong, they'd be great on my team, but like they won't pay attention to me.
Mhm.
And you know, if you've played the games enough, you know what that is. But and I don't know. There's a fine line to
There's
walk there, but like
definitely a way to like not break the like
yeah,
the kayfabe of the world.
right. And this is the
And
first time
that's
they're gonna
okay.
really have to like legitimately think about it more than ever, I would imagine. But I don't know. We'll see what solutions they come up with. You know, it'll be interesting. Okay, so the last two questions that I have for this. Number one is this the beginning of the end or the end of the beginning or whatever? Like, is it always open world
Yes,
Pokemon from here on out?
1000%. There's no way it's not.
Yeah,
There's no way it's not.
agreed. I think the only way it like there will be some
Like
or there could be
remakes.
some remakes
Yeah.
spin-off of some sort, you know, like if for whatever reason they wanted to do like a Coliseum XD kind of thing, Gale of Darkness, whatever. Sure.
I think the only way that they don't,
they could do something like
I mean,
that.
the
But
only way that it like every game that's a tentpole release is not an open world game is
Mhm.
if they do eventually nuke the battle system. Because I feel like they
yeah,
do like hold value in that and they would want to preserve it somewhere.
yeah.
But outside of that, it's like there's no real reason for them to release a new Pokemon game, even if it's a remake. And like assuming that like they eventually have like a new formula in terms of like
Mhm.
that's easy to replicate and like continue to develop every 3 years or whatever.
Mhm.
And they eventually or like like they themselves take over the remakes again rather than giving it to Ilka or somebody like Ilka.
Yeah, right.
Because if that's the case, then I could even see the remakes being open world. But if
I
they
was gonna say, like,
do,
imagine open world Kanto. I can't see that not happening at
imagine the
some point.
outrage, imagine
Yeah,
how many people will be
I know.
angry. But I'll be down. Like,
Yeah.
give me open world every region. I'm down for that.
Yeah. Honestly, open worlds. Let's go, Johto. Like, I don't know. I what I hope with this or would be cool is if this means that then they because you could open world fatigue can definitely be a thing for sure. So like
I
doing
think
more,
it
I mean,
depends on the game. I think if a game feels like it's open world for the sake of being open world,
mhm,
that will like that is grading.
mhm,
But if the world of the game, like the universe, the game's
mhm,
lore, the like the franchise feels like it is steeped in something that can only be truly expressed in an open world. Every game in the franchise should probably be open world. Like
yeah,
if we actually got a Breath of the Wild game every Breath of the Wild level Breath of the Wild like Zelda game
mhm,
specifically every
right,
year, people wouldn't get tired of that because it's a good game and it is designed to work in that context.
yeah,
People don't get tired of open worlds. They get tired of open worlds being open worlds for the sake of being an open
yeah.
world.
Well, and I think
Um,
people get tired of mechanics as well in
mhm.
some regards, and so that's the thing. Like,
But I
how
think that that's
often can you
also like how well that's
kind of
designed,
reinvent that?
you know,
Yeah, right,
because
right, for sure.
people play shooters every year. People play sports
Yeah,
games every year,
yeah,
whatever,
that's
right?
true.
Like the only time that stuff like that feels grating or tiring is if it's not done well in the context that it is done,
Yeah,
because like or like even to make it more specific to people that we can directly identify RPGs.
yeah.
Nobody's like, oh, I hope this year they're going to release less RPGs,
Yeah.
like because it's done well in that context for the
Hmm.
people that want to play those games. I think that open worlds are the same thing. Like as long
Yeah.
as it's not just half-assed, it's cool. Go at it.
I feel that. All right, and the last question for this. It is funny that we haven't really talked about many things specific to this game other than like it is things specific to this game, but it's like
I mean, for the most part, it's because we don't really know anything about the game.
right, yeah.
Like
And
we
it's
could
kind of
talk
like
about the specific stuff because like
other people can
there's a thing
I mean
about
have
like the
talked about like
starter. We
it's
could talk about the region and that stuff. After we talk about the starter. But I think that this all makes sense for given what we actually know about the video game.
Yes.
You
And
know?
what we care about as well. Because like I think the region stuff is like, cool, do the region stuff, man. That's great. And all those kinds of things. So but yeah, I think like specifically the gameplay kinds of things is the kind of thing we talk about a lot and I'm very interested in, and you are as well. But that said, we do know the starters.
Yes.
Sprigatito,
which I think that this real quick, removed from anything that we said so far, this is probably the best in recent memory, at least, reveal of a new generation yet. Because they usually drop the ball in one way or another, where it's like, hey, new Pokemon games come in, logo. See you in 4 months. You know, like, or they do the whole like new Pokemon game coming, logo, silhouettes, which I know Alec likes that because it's funny. People like fill in the silhouettes, and a lot of them are dumb and like, you know, make no sense, like the acorn duck or whatever. But I think as like a marketing tool and being like, here's this thing, like when you drop a new thing, you want to give people stuff to, you know, work with, to live with for as long as they have to live with it. Just the logo is going to drive people crazy. But giving people like, here's the name of the region, and it's an open world game, and here's what the starters look like. I think it's like better. And they did a good job at this reveal, I think.
I mean, I think it's also the first time, I don't know about the first time, but at least in recent memory, that people have been like pleased with where we're at when we got the reveal. So I think that helps too. I mean, it's kind of like how I felt about the Nintendo Direct in February, where it was like most people, I won't say most, but like a lot of people, at least that were in my boat, is kind of like, man, like cool, like icing on the cake is how the whole Direct.
See, the thing is, like, objectively, most people are satisfied. But like most of the people in the like vocal minority internet sphere that we occupy
claim to not be, at least.
That's like harder to save most, for sure.
But so that's the thing, like, if when it's coming from abundance rather than the lack thereof or something, then it makes it an easier.
It makes the people that are louder seem like they're the majority, because they're all you see.
So I mean, with this though, I mean, definitely, I was curious about. I did think it was Detective Pikachu something for a hot second there. I think everybody seems to. Which still, like, I wonder
where is that game? You know,
I know.
Like even the port, like we haven't seen the port of the first game.
Crazy,
that's supposed to happen. Where's Pokemon Sleep?
So, but we did get the starters
whole time,
whether we were dreaming or not. Exactly. Maybe we slept through it, and that was they were like, "Oh no, you already know."
True. Pokemon Sleep is the sleep we've gotten along the way.
That's very funny. Okay, so what of the 3 starters, what do you think?
I like all of them, but my favorite one is Donald Duck. Donald Duck, he go crazy. He's real. I mean, he's real. I don't know which one it is. I think Huey is the blue one, or is it Dewey? That's Huey? The blue one. Huey, Dewey.
I don't know.
Dewey, that's the blue one, or is it Huey? Who's the blue duck? I gotta look it up now.
While you do that, I think this to me is the best lineup of starters too in a hot minute. Like all 3 of them, I'm like, those are so good.
This is the closest as far as like as far as like direct analog to like the type of Pokemon that it is versus other Pokemon that they've done to Gen 1 ever, I think. Because I feel like they have, so like Gen 1 to me, I feel like Squirtle and Charmander are super safe designs, and Bulbasaur is like an unsafe design, but it works. I feel like we have that here, where it's like Fuecoco is cool, but like by all accounts, it like probably shouldn't work.
Place.
You know, like, but
he's my favorite for what it's worth.
I like Fuecoco. But I think the other 2 are like designed by an algorithm to be like pleasing to children. And
100%.
like either we have like one Pokemon that is just outright like terrible, like we got the Turtways of the world. And then we have the other two Pokemon. Like, these are acceptable, like there's always like a clear stinker since Gen 1. But Gen 1 is like these are all pretty good.
Yeah.
I think that this is similar to that.
Yeah.
There's not one Pokemon that I would say I don't like this Pokemon. Like the worst one to me, and not that I think it's bad, but because there has to be a worse one, is Sprigatito, and that's because
it's
too
safe.
It's designed by the algorithm that made Score Bunny, and I just don't care about this Pokemon.
But yeah, somehow it's different to me than like Score Bunny. Something about I think
Sprigatito feels okay. Got it. Dude.
Nice. Sprigatito feels safe but like subdued or something like that, whereas Score Bunny feels like safe but like a Disney XD cartoon main character energy sort of thing. So something about those. I do like Score Bunny better now that I've watched Pokemon Journeys, though, for what it's worth.
I don't I still feel the same way. I think Cinderace still gives me Nutcracker vibes. I still think Raboot is sick.
Yeah.
And Score Bunny exists. Like, I don't hate it, but I don't love it.
Yep. So no, yeah, I honestly even like I don't have a favorite of Gen 8 starters. I picked Sobble because he was the water one. I don't like him.
Sobble. I like Sobble a lot. I
hate Inteleon for what it's worth.
I like Inteleon. I like Inteleon. I like Rillaboom. I don't like Cinderace at all.
Agreed.
I don't like Grookey. Score Bunny is fine. Thwacky is terrible. Thwacky is actively terrible. He is the worst Pokemon in the video game, probably. Bad Pokemon. but like
just make Ice Cube be all 3 starters.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
there
I
you
like
go. Yeah.
Man. Especially I like the spy vibes. I like the design inspiration of like a lot of those like
I feel like I should like it. It feels too on the nose, maybe. I don't know what it is exactly, but it feels something like that to me. But yeah,
I like him though. But I like Quaxley. I don't like cute. Freaking I mean I don't feel like any of the Pokemon are bad.
Yeah,
but I feel like Sprigatito is
the redeeming quality for me for Sprigatito is I think Lynxes are cool. And just in general, like, so yeah, because I saw when we lived in France where we were, there were lynx around some places. So like every once in a while off in the distance, you're like, that's a lynx over there. And that was cool. And so in my mind, they occupy like a nice little, really cool cat space.
Really cool cat.
Yeah. So hopefully its evolutions will be neat as well. But
also, how do you feel about this freaking stays on 4 feet, 4 legs?
Oh, yeah.
That is happening.
Oh, I'd be more inclined to agree than to not agree.
I think it is actively stupid. I don't care how many legs it has.
I'm more in that camp.
As long as the Pokemon looks good.
Yes,
that is.
I'm much more in that camp.
Like, I don't think that, and like, also, I feel like Incineroar. Like, Incineroar is the main thing that a lot of people are bringing up because it's like, but people are going to make it a fur. That's their problem.
Yeah, true.
Like that has nothing to do with whether Incineroar is a good design or not. Like, just like Sonic is a good design, but people are weirdos, so they made him weird. Like, I don't think that like Pokemon that even like people say like Incineroar is humanoid. I wouldn't even describe Incineroar as humanoid. Like, that's such a weird thing. Like, a humanoid Pokemon to me is like Machoke. Like, that is a humanoid Pokemon. He is just a man. But freaking Incineroar is like a cat.
I mean, I would say I'm more on the, not necessarily like specifically stay on all 4s, but like Inteleon being like a lizard, but also like regular old spy. Like something about that feels, I guess when I said too on the nose, like that's the kind of thing where like if it yeah, I don't love that. Like I prefer when it's original in a different direction that doesn't pull directly from a human counterpart that you could look like point to a specific human and be like, it's kind of like that one. You're like a wrestler or a spy guy or something like that. But still, I'm not too mad about it. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. So far, Fuecoco is my favorite, but it also like if it ends up being a snake like the whole, you know, Chinese zodiac and all that is supposed to be, I don't know that like I think I would like him better as a crocodile like he's starting out as than as a snake. So we'll have to see kind of how that pans out because
I think a snake could be
I don't really know.
Just
It could be cool,
because
but it
we
also
don't
could be
have
bad.
a
So I don't
snake
know.
like that.
Yeah. It's
But
true.
we got mads of crocodiles. I think it's the bull. Yeah.
Definitely. All right. Anything else on Gen 9 before we move on?
Oh, we didn't say nothing about the region. Spain's cool.
Yeah. Spain's cool.
Portugal, cool. I wonder how they're going to do the open world though.
Yeah.
And that is the extent of what the region
talk. There you go.
Yeah.
Yep. Good stuff. I mean, one of the things that showed up in that was in the trailer, they put a big focus for a second on an OLED Switch, which, as we all know, was supposed to be the Switch 2 or the Switch Pro.
Oh, yeah.
And
dude.
this week, we got a good old leak from NVIDIA
that
shows that proves that the Nintendo Switch 2 is tomorrow.
Everybody was like, we're never getting a Switch Pro ever. Now have staunchly switched to like Switch 2 confirmed. Like, and it's like very specifically Switch 2 because they like still don't want to like admit that they're wrong about a thing. So like they still want to seem like they're smart and reading the tea leaves. So that's cool. The internet's still being the internet in that regard.
I mean, to be perfectly honest, I don't have that much to say about everybody knows what happened, but
it's the same crap all over again.
Yeah. It's the one thing I'll say that's nice about it is the leaks or the rumors have been DLSS plus whatever Nintendo's doing next this whole time. Right. And it seems like DLSS is cool, promising technology. So I'm down for the fact that those things seem to be legitimately connected in whatever way, whatever the timing is, whatever the branding is of the thing, whether a Switch Pro, a Switch 2, whatever. I mean, the thing I will be most curious about, because it's something new is coming eventually, really will be like, does Nintendo count the numbers, the sales numbers from this next thing as the same sale numbers as the Switch?
Yeah. Is it
that's what I'll be curious
Game
about.
Boy Color sort of
exactly.
Situation?
Yeah. And I don't know, totally depends on, like, they can swing it however they want because it's their thing. They're the only ones that are counting.
And so, all this stuff is made up. Like the generations.
There's no governing body.
Like, nobody's like, this is over the power threshold for Generation 9 consoles or whatever.
Right, exactly.
Like you can't count this one.
I mean, they could have just said everything is technically still the Game Boy, and at this point they've sold, I mean,
they have sold
or everything's the
million
Nintendo.
Game Boys.
I mean, since moms are always calling it, are you gonna play your Nintendo?
That's a fact.
Yeah, the Wii U sold great as part of the Nintendo.
Yeah, I mean, Apple does that with iPhones. They're like, we have sold 2 billion iPhones or whatever.
Yep. So. And how many of those to the same people over and over again? And also like your work phone and your home and your personal phone, and you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, it's true.
But counts.
This just seems like what we thought it was going to be in the first place. Where it was very obviously the OLED was not. It was not a thing that they would have done had it not been for chip shortage.
Yep. I didn't even read this part of the article. So I missed this bit, but like, again, totally falls in line with what, because I saw the thing that, NVN2, DLSS, blah, blah, blah. I didn't see this tweet that is saying, but the data of these files are from 2019, and even more evidence that it's a delayed Switch Pro and not a next gen platform.
That whoever would have said that in a video on youtube.com/fanatixfour. Whoever would have thought that.
Yeah, man, that's funny. There it is. Yeah. I mean, and again, we'll just figure out all this stuff as it happens, but like that's easily later this year, next year, I don't know, whatever.
Yep.
Whichever
one. Depends. I don't know. Like it could, like if Pokemon Violet and Scarlet are technically impressive in some way with more hardware capabilities, could be this year. Who knows?
Yeah.
I mean, the Breath of the Wild, if that comes out this year, that's another thing that they could very easily market that thing around.
Yep. In the same way that Metroid Dread and the OLED, was together and stuff. That totally makes sense. And see, the number of games coming out this year
part
too,
that
like
funny to me. Yeah, like
whatever,
super easily.
Yeah.
That's another thing that's funny to me though. It's like how the pendulum swings on who you blame depending on how happy you are with the thing. People are like, well, it's obviously because of the Switch. That's why Pokemon's not technically impressive, because look at the hardware. Look at the, they're on the Switch. It's like, okay, if it was the hardware's fault, why do we have Breath of the Wild? Or any other number of games that is technically more impressive. Just accept it for what it is, man. It's fine. Like, you don't gotta look for a scapegoat with every little thing that you're angry about. I promise. The world will be better once you stop looking for scapegoats about everything.
Yeah. The goats are always escaping, and that's just gonna be okay. And it's the fire, water, and
true,
grass goats.
All those goats. Yep. That's Gen. Now it has to be Gen 10, dude.
Man, they keep pushing it back. We didn't ask while we were talking about it though. Pokemon Scarlet or Pokemon Violet?
I don't know. I got to see that. Well, actually, I think that now I gotta get Scarlet. I think.
Okay.
Because I frame trapped youth into getting Pokemon. Because I tweeted about her getting Pokemon, and then she started streaming, and then I brought it up, and I was like, so which version are you going to get or whatever? And then she was like, I'm going to get Violet. And I was like, you're trapped now. You got to get it because you just said that. Youth did this to you. So probably Scarlet.
Nice. I think for what it's worth, I think I'm going Violet anyway. So,
but it depends on what the Pokemon look like. Because I'll probably play Scarlet on stream if that's the case. If that's what I do. But it depends on what the Pokemon looks like, man.
Is it back since Gen 3 that? Oh no, it's back since Gen 2 that they've had exclusive legendaries. Yeah, so I guess it's just Gen 1 that doesn't do that. Huh. Yep. Okay. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Weird.
Also,
Pokemon Wanda and Pokemon Agatha.
There was this other thing, like, Colton. Colton tweeted, he was like, I don't know if I like the names or whatever. I'm like, it's like they're calling back to Red and Blue. It's very, very obvious to me that for sure. Like, this is Red and Blue again. Which I think is neat. Scarlet and Violet is neat.
Yep. And especially, I don't know,
like Pokemon Rose, though. That would have been even more sick. That would have been an even more direct parallel,
Are we going to have our equivalents of Shieldbert and Swordbert, though? That's what I want to know.
Of course.
That might be one of my most hated things in games. If I'm being honest, it's just like, I mean, not literally, but like those were so cheesy and so bad.
What, Shieldbert and Swordbert?
Yeah, just that.
But that's why they're cheesy and bad. They were supposed to be. It's like Mirror B. Yeah. It's like, look at how cringe this dude is, LOL.
Yep. And I still hate it.
Yep.
Oh man. But speaking of leaks, in any case, could we be getting even more games in Nintendo Switch Sports? I have been hoping so the whole time. So you know what? Yeah. No, that's the thing. Like, yeah,
for what it's worth, some of the, I wouldn't have guessed some of the, or a game at least that they are putting in it.
No, I feel you. Dodgeball.
Yeah. Yep. I wouldn't have guessed that.
Yeah.
But more games is unsurprising.
Yes. Agreed. Especially, okay, it makes sense too, because like both of those are ones that you definitely need to have the leg strap for. And it seems like that's something that they're kind of still figuring out, because the kicking mode or whatever isn't in soccer initially or something like that. I don't remember. And it's like, yeah, so I could see dodgeball, like obviously you're going to be bobbing back and forth, and basketball probably also, I'd guess. Those are the two games, by the
Well,
way.
you don't really need your
know
legs
that.
for basketball in the context of this video game.
Yeah, maybe not. Probably not actually
I would
jumping.
think that like basketball would probably be like worse.
Like just free throws
Yeah,
kind
it
of
would
thing.
probably be worse if they used the leg thing. Like it would be annoying if you needed to use the leg thing for basketball.
Unless you do cool dribbles between your legs.
Because then
like
it's
that,
like it like becomes less of a form thing, like
Right.
freaking,
Mhm.
For people not watching video, I emulated holding the ball and gotten like
like a
doing
real basketball
thing.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't do that if one of the Joy-Con that's used for power and or guidance is on your freaking thigh,
Yep. Side note, I thought for many a year that it was Baller's Life. And Ashley was like, no, it's Ball is Life. And I was like, but it's Baller's Life, right? And she's like, no, it's Ball is Life. And I was like, maybe there's both. And I looked it up, Ball. And when I looked up Baller's Life, there were like 4 articles, and then Ball is Life, it was everything. It was like,
the people that made those articles, they were you.
It was more
and
me.
At least one of them did that article to prove, like, to make it a thing, to prove a point, to be like, see, it's a thing now. I told you it's a thing. Look at the Google search results.
Yep. So that, now we know. But okay, yeah, all that said, for this game though, still I'm very glad about this, because that was one thing where like when it first was announced, I was like, man, 6 games just feels kind of slim pickings for for me at least. Like maybe not for everybody
or whatever.
I think $39.99. I'm pretty sure it's just $40.
Yeah.
Which still, like, I mean, it actually is a pretty fine deal, all things considered, but it doesn't feel like a slam dunk,
I get it, because they didn't have basketball in it. LOL. Good one.
Now they do.
You really saved yourself from the Baller's Life.
Yeah.
It was looking bad. It was looking bad. But you turned it around.
Yes. So there you go. But yeah, golf is coming, and then those ones.
Put an H in Weedle. I'm never going to forgive you for that.
Wait, when did I do? What did I do?
When you tweeted something about Weedle, and I think it was Let's Go, and I was like, are you serious? This is what you do? Are you kidding me? You're tarnishing the brand? Yeah, you spelled Weedle with an H.
Oh no. I definitely didn't think that it was supposed. It was definitely a typo, as opposed to.
I don't know what it was, but all I know is that you did it, and I was hurt, appalled, enraged. Really I was like, "Yo, this man, what have I done? I need to get Logan."
That's right. Get those goats back on here. Yeah.
He would have never spelled Weedle wrong. He doesn't do anything else, but he wouldn't have spelled Weedle wrong.
And speaking of memories,
Jesus.
Speaking of memories on the Switch and all those kinds of things, as those would have been, let's talk about it. I left this for the end, even though it's kind of the main topic, sort of, but like
everything is, related.
Yes.
All of it is related. Yep. Everything is because it's 5 years this way. If Switch failed in 3 years, we wouldn't get Pokemon Violet and Scarlet on the Nintendo Switch system. They would have put it on the 3DS,
4DS, 7DS. Yeah. So here we go. I don't even know particularly what we asked people to give their stories. So like we'll intersperse these here and there. But then also Mark put a cool thing that I was thinking about, something like this, but I like this better anyway. So works out nicely. But yeah, I don't know. First of all, what's like, the Switch has been out for 5 years now. Yep. What's like one favorite memory that you have? Oh my goodness. Mark said HD 2DS.
Oh my God. I hate it.
I love it so
I
much.
hate that. That's dumb. That's terrible.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, what's one of your favorite Switch memories if you can think
I
of
mean,
one?
I feel like I talk about my favorite memories a lot.
Yeah.
From the Switch. I mean, apart from all the stuff that assuredly has been documented in content,
Yes.
which this was also documented in content, but like the coolest thing that is like an isolated moment that's like this happened because of Switch, was the preview event. Like that was cool.
Yeah. Yeah, that
Me
is
and
fun.
Bob and going to freaking Korean barbecue and him not eating any of the spicy wings. Good times, man.
Man, now I want wings. Why do you do this to me?
You got to do specifically Korean barbecue wings, man.
I would love to.
They're good, especially the spicy ones.
Yeah.
You gotta get the spicy ones.
Yeah. I'm just gonna read one of these somebody else's story. Here we go. Pat Green said, okay, number one is playing Pokemon Shield in single Joy-Con mode while rocking a baby in front of the TV. Oh. And more recently, with same baby playing Kirby demo while she yells enthusiastically, "Eat him! Eat him!"
Yo, it's hype.
Yeah, I've said for years, like since it came out, I was like, no, Switch is like a perfect console for dads because you can like, play it, but then take it off the TV and let other people use the TV and stuff, and
100%,
and it works out. It's good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, for me, generally, I'm sure I've told the Schlotsky story here before, the one where he whatever, I'll tell that one as well. For those who haven't heard this, or if I haven't told it, I don't know. Mitch, Nate, my boss at the time, and I there was a Schlotsky's, which is like a sandwich shop place that was doing like first 100 people here get free Schlotsky's for a year. And we were like, that cool, we'll do that. And it was like around the corner from our office. So that sounded like a good deal, but it was January or December or something. I think it was December, and it was going to be like below freezing by a decent amount. So we were like, okay, we were planning on going the night before and just like kind of standing up and then sleeping in chairs or something like that. And then we decided not to do that. And we're like, okay, we'll just go have like a game night at my house and then get up at like 4 a.m. or like 3 a.m. and try to get there and be there really early. So we got up at we did that. We played some games, I don't know, Mario Kart and stuff. And then got up at 3 a.m., went to Schlotsky's and expected to be, within the first 100 people. We were the only 3 people at 4 a.m. or 3:30 a.m. or whatever at this Schlotsky's in like 20-degree Fahrenheit weather. And we were all in our, we had like sleeping bags, and then we're wearing things inside of our sleeping bags and had like little hand warmers and stuff on our chairs. And it was like a great moment. We were playing 9 Parchments together. And because you can play local wireless, we didn't need internet or anything. We could just each play on our 3 switches and realize that you can take the Joy-Cons off, put the Switch in your lap, and then have your hands inside of the sleeping bag and playing. So to any lookers on, we looked super weird, but there were none because it was 4 a.m. and 20 degrees. So yeah, so we did that. And like the next people literally, like they opened at 9. The next people showed up at like 6 a.m. So it was a long time before
How many people were there by the time?
By the time it was less than 100. It was like we could have seriously showed up at 9 a.m. and because I mean about 50 people came probably within the last 30 minutes. And so I think there were a total of like 80 or so, something like that. And then the free Schlotsky's was literally like, it was 1 sandwich a week and it was only their most basic sandwich. And we all got sick of it within.
Oh, it's like potato mochi.
Yeah, exactly. Potato mochi. But in any case, it was still like this just great moment of us playing 9 Parchments together in the cold. And somewhere we've got a picture of it and our beards are like frozen and stuff. But yeah, I think that's like my most switch moment. Yeah, that's my rooftop party moment.
Yeah.
Was that
I feel, see, the thing is like I have again, a lot of it, like, it's hard to like isolate like a specific moment that is very special, because I feel like those moments I talk about on the podcast.
Right. Yeah.
Like all of that is like, there's so many people that I met because of Switch, and like we're friends because of Switch.
Yeah. Right.
So it's like hard to in the same way to be like, this one thing stood out.
Yeah.
Because it's all one big good memory.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, and like, like your realization of the like, wait, we don't have to stop playing. We can bring it with us. Like that, even just, I remember being like, man, I got to go to bed. I can keep playing in bed. Like it was just a like 1 second realization, but had lifelong consequences or, whatever, which is fun. Yeah. So just neat.
It's good console, man.
Speaking of you in this too, Falcon said in response to the post question, my favorite memory is driving up to PA and playing Smash and some other games with you, your aunt, and Logan. The tourney was pretty hyped too. I guess maybe it's not a Switch specific memory, but yeah,
it's a pretty Switch specific memory. Like obviously Smash Ultimate isn't like, it could have existed not on the Switch, you know, but it is a Switch game. And I don't think like if the Switch didn't come out and like they just tried to make the Wii U work and like they just had Smash Wii U, I wouldn't have liked Smash Wii U and like become competitive at that video game, because it didn't have Pokemon Trainer, and Pokemon Trainer is way cooler than any character in that video game.
Yeah, and
they're good. So like that's why, like the Switch is very responsible for that IMO.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was great too. That was another thing I was going to bring up, because it's like I've met a lot of the friends that I have now and that I talk to a lot because of Smash too. Like I met Lee because of Smash, because of Switch. I met Max, and then Max knew Lee because of the Switch, I'd assume, because he rated him playing something on Switch,
something like that. Yeah.
But yeah, like all that, like once you include like all the Switch, I mean Smash specific stuff, even more so. I have a lot of friends through Smash.
Yeah.
Like I pretty much met Youth because of Smash too, because she used to hang out with us in the open chat when we used to play Smash, because I would like in Bob's Discord, I would be like, yo, friggin' let's play Smash. I'm trying to play Smash. Y'all trying to play Smash? And then that's how they got good at the video game. And she's like, I wonder what they're doing. And then she would come in and we would play Smash. So yeah, Switch is cool.
True. It is indeed. Chronically Cal said my top two are probably number one, spending like 7.5 hours or 7+ hours on the phone with my sister every day while we both played Animal Crossing New Horizons at the beginning of the pandemic. That's very fun.
True.
And number two, playing like 30 hours of Trivial Pursuit with my family in a week, including my cousin, who I just properly met for the first time in 20 years.
Nice.
I didn't even know Trivial Pursuit
was on the Switch.
Yeah.
I was
exactly
the same thing. I had no idea.
I need to actually look at it, because Ashley loves trivia games, but the only times we've ever found Trivial Pursuit in like IRL, it's been like Trivial Pursuit Literature Edition from 1982. So none of the references. So to me, it doesn't feel like a fun game, because I just feel out of my depth all the time. Even the easy questions, it's like, yeah, that was easy for not either.
Yeah, exactly. It's I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
But related, I kind of want to I want to play the Game of Life on stream. I feel like that would be hilarious. Board games are funny to play on stream. Like the whole Monopoly thing, hilarious. I freaking love playing Monopoly.
So, I saw you saying that you were playing Monopoly. What's the story behind that?
Did you not? So the initial story was because me, Bob, Dan, and E streamed Monopoly I don't know, 2-3 years ago or whatever, and I psychologically deconstructed Dan from the door. I was just programmed him to think that I don't care about Boardwalk at all. So it just eventually came to the point where he just flippantly gave me Boardwalk, because the guy, he doesn't care about this, so he doesn't really know or whatever it was, right? And I got Boardwalk, and that was a lot of how I won. Because like on some level, it's like I wasn't lying. Like Boardwalk is whatever. It's two like pieces on the board.
Uh-huh.
You know? But in the context that I got Boardwalk, it didn't matter because I had that whole row. You know,
Yep.
I like understood Monopoly at a level that he wasn't ready for. And because it's like it's not even it's not just playing the game and like knowing like what pieces are what. It's like being like unassuming in a lot of ways to people because they're more willing to trade with you and like they're like they don't gun for you as much and like so you can you know live under the radar. Or on the other end, it also works when they're scared of you. That also can be used to your advantage. And that is like the type of stuff like that's why I think Monopoly is hilarious, because I'm not playing the game. I'm playing the people game. I am in your head about what you're thinking about everything removed from the game. And that is hilarious.
Yeah.
That like it's just another like venue that I can be like competitive because competition is fun to me. And Monopoly is a good venue for that.
Yeah.
Surprisingly.
That's really funny. Yeah, I've not had any particularly good experiences playing Monopoly ever. Like they at worst they've been bad, and at best they've been like actually maybe at best they've been bad, and at worst they've been non-existent. You know what I mean?
But that's the thing. Like I don't know. I guess I usually play with people that don't take it that seriously. Like Dan, like he took it seriously in a meme way. It was like, oh, I'm not playing Monopoly anymore. Like it's just funny. But like that's when it, like when you play with people that like care enough to like you know play the game, like, and I don't mean play Monopoly, but like play the same game. You know, we're trying to deconstruct each other. It is hilarious.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. Yeah,
because I was playing it. Yeah, the last time that I was playing it with my sister. And for a long time, like, I was playing with my sister and my oldest niece, and for a long time she was just winning. Like my niece was just winning because she was landing on everything, and like we were like I like didn't land, like I didn't get to pass go in like 6 turns because I kept landing on go to jail, you know. Like, so she was just winning based off of that, but she got bored because she was winning, and she's like, well, this isn't fun, you know, I'm just winning and I'm not really doing anything. So when because at first me and my sister were like, no, you can't quit because like you wanted to play this game, and what does that teach you? That you can just quit whenever you're bored of something that you start like finish what you start. But eventually like this isn't fun because she's not having fun, so we're not having fun because she's just complaining the whole time, so just do whatever. We split all her crap, and then that's when it got real fun because my sister and me were like, oh, it's on now, or like you're just freaking going back and forth. So yeah,
that's great. Mark said, my wife had a coworker at an old job who talked about how he didn't like Monopoly because, quote, someone always ends up owning everything in the end.
Oh my god, I hate Monopoly because the game ends.
And like also the premise of, I guess,
exactly the point of the game. I hate the end goal of the game.
I never thought about this, but like, do you, when you win Monopoly, do you say Monopoly? Like when you say Uno? Because you should.
No,
that's all. I don't do you definitely,
because like you don't even necessarily, well, you technically do, but like you don't necessarily have to own everything to win Monopoly. You know,
interesting. I guess other people have to give up.
No, you could go bankrupt without owning, like without having.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
You know, like there can still be properties that are unowned, like by the time the game is over.
Yep, that's a good point. Yeah, I think basically like once I started playing games, like more like strategy type board games or whatever, was like I was around other people that liked the hobby of like collecting board games and finding new Kickstarter board games and stuff. And I never did either. And like I kind of wanted to briefly because I had a bunch of other friends that did, but then I realized like they're the people I'd be playing these games with and they are already buying them. So I can just play and play their
and
games.
I feel like a lot of those the thing is like board games in general don't really care, but like I like the board games where it's like it becomes a game outside of the board game. That is fun. Like that's why I like Monopoly and Werewolf, you know, and Life is another game that is like that because it's like I don't like people like people get invested like like I don't want a kid,
my 7 kids,
I'm young. Like I'm going to college or what, you know, like that stuff is always fun to me. But like freaking when it's like about the meta of the board game itself and like you are playing the game, I don't really care about those.
Yeah. For me, it depends, because like those can be fun if the game is like, particularly done. Like, I don't think Monopoly is done particularly like, it's not interesting as a game, like
Exactly.
lore
Yeah,
wise, whatever,
right.
blah blah. But there are plenty of games that like are interestingly done, where I don't know, whatever, that whole thing. But I think more than anything, it's just like I like hanging out with people that also like playing a game. So it's like really the
AJ hates
game's a
counting
catalyst
frames in
for
board games. I don't even like counting frames in the games where that's important.
Yeah. But what if you did, And there it is. Speaking of frames, I guess Rise Gang for his story said playing Smash with the OCG.
That's a fact. Open chat game.
Okay. OCG homies, and also playing Xenoblade at school during study hall, probably.
True.
Nice.
True. But OCG, that was like from chat. It came to a point where like everybody that would hang out in open chat got very good at the video game because they're playing with other people, like mostly me. I mean, but seriously, like they themselves have credited me with like helping them get better at the game. And like it came to a certain point where we would just go around like all the people in our circle, like Jackson, and like terrorize them. Like frame one, whenever they had open arenas, it's like everybody in open chat were just there. And Jackson was like, I'm terrified of open chat game. And then they just took that and ran with it. But yeah, that's the story behind that.
That's funny. Mega Man said, to be honest, my favorite memory over the last 5 years is meeting everyone I have since I bought a Switch. As cheesy as that sounds, LOL.
It's just true.
Yeah.
It's a fact.
My second is rediscovering my love for Pokemon and gaming with my Switch, and also discovering games I would never have played, Breath of the Wild, Animal Crossing, etc. It's been a grand old time. You never would have played Breath of the Wild?
You're crazy.
Weirdo.
People in Narnia are freaking backwards and upside down.
No, but yeah, that's 100%. Like that's one of those things where it's weird to think about my life now if this weren't a part of it,
Yep.
Because again, of specifically the relationships parts and all that is just fun. True. And honestly, even how it kind of affects my like just regular like IRL friendships and stuff, and that it's like it's fun to be the guy who knows about games, and when somebody's like, hey, which of these Pokemon games should I get for my kid, that I have insight on that, because
100%.
So it's fun times.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah. And then last one for this, Alex said, video games have always been a solo thing for me. So being able to experience a console with Red and online friends I've made, mostly through this community, has been really cool. Also, so many JRPGs.
Cringe. It was good until you said that.
No, but that's definitely true. Yeah, I mean, for me especially too, I think there's a large chunk of like, that now like there's
cringe.
There's games that like Ashley and I will play together, and I don't know that would have, I don't know, I just don't know that would have happened in other situations, or if like if I was like kind of into games like, and it was just fun to play them here or there, like before the Switch came out, when I was just playing the Wii and I would have like a game, like Ashley and I wouldn't play together ever because it wasn't like that much of a thing for me. So yeah. I'm not awake to hear you call me. Yeah.
Yes, you are.
So yeah, there you go. And the last bit for this, Mark put a challenge. So which of the first party / high profile 2022 games do you think will ultimately be largely considered one of the top 25 Switch games, and where might they land in that ranking? And then you mean the list of games
like critically, or like
probably just, I mean, so for additional context, here is IGN's current top 25 games. So I guess it's not necessarily maybe in like IGN's in terms of list like specifically, Metacritic, but like, I think kind of just like generally understood, like here's the best 25 games, that kind of thing. Yeah, because I feel like Metacritic is a portion of that, but definitely isn't everything, because like there's games that are probably higher up on that list to have a lower Metacritic
when I said critically.
Right. Yeah. But yeah, I guess just like top 25 recommended games, Yeah. Mark said in the general consensus. Cool. So here's the games. And I guess we can just go through and then say for each one, like yes or no.
This
and
will be
then
one.
Talk about how high.
Yeah.
Pokemon Legends Arceus.
No.
I think if it weren't for the fact that we're going to get more open world Pokemon games on the Switch, specifically already by the end of this year,
yes,
maybe,
but no,
but
because
since we're getting the other one, exactly.
Just because, like, to me, this has always been like a stopgap game.
Yeah,
and I think that, like, in the grand scheme of things, like, we're not there yet to the point where people at large are like realizing how like small in scale this game is. They will eventually come around to being like, I mean, it's cool. It was a cool experience, but it's not like one that lasts the test of time in the same way.
I mean, unless they really mess up open world Pokemon.
Yeah, if they mess up
forward,
Gen 9, then sure. Then but maybe, I don't really think they will.
I agree.
Just based off what we already know. Because, like, even if they don't put in like the catching the Pokemon with the Pokeball thing or whatever, right? The rest of the game will be more fully realized than Arceus is.
Yeah. Agreed. So no for that one. Triangle strategy.
I'm hearing a lot of good things. I could see that.
Yeah. I don't think that it would be my guess, but yeah, I feel like if somebody's making a list, it and like Fire Emblem would be kind of in contention to some degree with each other. Like I don't know that I'd see both those be on the same list, and I think Fire Emblem still would probably win out in terms of like.
Well, I don't know how people feel about them in comparison, because I am not in there.
That's true. Yeah.
That, I'm not.
But also, that's very much not me disparaging this game by any means. It's more thinking about what people would put in a top 25 list, kind of the thing, especially if it's like top 25 games you should play. This one's more niche.
Right. Yeah. Especially in like lists like that, because they usually try to limit it to like one of like a very distinct category sort of thing.
But I mean, that said, like, yeah, I'm hearing great things, and it looks so good. I just wish there weren't as much talking for this point in my life. But whatever, I might end up playing it.
Is it voice acted talking?
It is voice acted talking.
That makes it so much better, man.
It is better. It's just time. That's the bigger thing. Is like it doesn't take time when somebody else is reading it for you. That takes no time. But like in that, if I'm like, all right, I've got 20 minutes that I can play some game right now, and like already that's half of a actual battle probably. Yeah. But what's really hard is when you're like, I've got 20 minutes to play a game. You open it up, and it's in the middle of a cutscene, and then you close it, and it's still that same cutscene. Not that I'm saying that's happened with this game, because it hasn't happened with this game, but that has happened with like, I've got 15, 20 minutes to play Xenoblade Chronicles 2, and then it's just a cutscene for the whole time, and that feels not fun. But nevertheless,
I could see it going either way.
Yeah, could see it going either way. Kirby and the Forgotten Land?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Just because it's Kirby, and it's like the best example of Kirby, as far as what we know. Not even like it's like this groundbreaking game across the board, blah blah. Because I think that especially for like platform specific lists or whatever, it's not even necessarily like these are the best games. It's just like these are the games that people care about the most, you know. And it's like, this is the best Kirby game that we have on the platform, so this is the one that is on the top 25 list because Kirby is a top franchise,
Yep. And so then, since it's a yes, the follow-up question is, and where might it land in that ranking? I guess probably
14. No, okay. 19.
Yeah, I was going to say more like towards the
somewhere like mid bottom, somewhere around there.
Yep. Because I mean, I think it'll be one of those where it's like, it's not Mario Odyssey or anything by any means, but it's. I think I will enjoy this game based on what I've played so far. I will have enjoyed this game more than Super Mario 3D World by a decent chunk. And I thought Super Mario 3D World was good. So like, I'm not mad about that at all. So good job. Next up, Advanced Wars 1+2 Reboot
Absolutely
Camp.
Not.
Yeah, I'd say no, even though the Metacritic for the originals was specifically high. So that's interesting. But yeah.
So that's why I'm like, Like, I mean, again, we're not really going off of Metacritic, so
Yes,
I could see it,
exactly. Agreed.
So, but I don't think that a lot of people would put this in that, especially given the context of like most of these lists are going to be trying to be general,
Yeah,
like I could see it being on Alex's list,
Oh,
but
for sure.
like I don't know if a lot of other people would put this and Fire Emblem and
especially because like these lists also include like Hollow Knight and Diablo 3 and whatever, like that kind of stuff. So
because this is not a game that you would play. Advance Wars seems like an Alec game to me.
That seemed facetious, maybe from Alec. Like what? Me?
I don't know.
Or maybe not.
Pre-ordered. Okay, there we go.
I was right. Okay, cool. Nintendo Switch Sports. I'd say no. In that Ring Fit Adventure instead.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I don't know. We'll see how it turns out. Mario Strikers Battle League.
No. Well, I don't know. Because I think freaking Next Level games are pretty good.
I know, yeah.
They're pretty good.
Oh, I didn't mention that article. But the president of Next Level Games of like 19 years or whatever is leaving. No,
this game's gonna suck now.
But people were saying like that probably explains why they were looking to sell, was because he has a decent amount of shares. They were going to go away, and then at that point they would have been acquired, basically by default, or could have been acquired by default.
Yeah.
But yeah, like Alex said, though, I think for this game of the Mario sports games, this is the one I care the most about. I feel like this is the one that'll be the best. So like if a Mario sports game is going to be on that top 25, which I'm going to take a look at their list now and see if there is one on there, I feel like this would be the one to show up. Xenoblade Links Awakening, Chicory, Emerald Dig 2, Mario Party Superstars. Yeah, interesting. That's
weird. I mean, from what I played, it seemed interesting, but isn't that on? Yeah, it's on like PC and stuff. I don't know if I'll put this on there. That's kind of that's an IGN. You're trying to be different, and you ended up being cringe.
Yeah. Okay. Well, no, none of the. Unsurprisingly, none of the Mario sports games are on there. So, if one would break the mold, maybe that one. But we'll see. Live Alive.
Live
Alive. Again,
I'm pretty sure it's Live Alive.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I'm telling Kevin Kenson that you didn't know that.
Mark said clearly it's pronounced and then typed it out. So
facts,
helpful. I appreciate it. So no for that one. Splatoon 3.
Yes. It will take Splatoon 2 spot.
I would agree. I mean, again, unless they butcher it for some reason, which I doubt, but yeah. Alex said it's Live Alive. Interesting.
Boo.
We'll never know. Except for we know now. So yeah, I think Splatoon 3 and would take Splatoon 2 spot as well, which currently is in what place is that in? Somewhere. I noticed it.
But I think it's going to be top
number 20
in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, I can see that.
I think number 20 is dumb from IGN. IGN's list sucks.
Also, they're definitely doubling up on some stuff in this list. Like number 20 has Splatoon 2, and it's like also Splatoon 3 is coming. And then number 19 is Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle. And it's like also Sparks of Hope is coming. So like,
I think this list is stupid.
So there you go. Yeah, I think Splatoon 3 shows about that. Similarly, Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope. Yeah, I would imagine that it does, and it takes Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battles spot, which is still like I think the top selling third party game.
Yep.
And because it had like 7.5 million units sold at some point, which is not surprising because it goes on sale.
Yeah, I was about to say, I wonder how many of those were purchased for $1.
I mean, I think it goes down to like $15, but still like 50, or like even sometimes it's down like, I think 15 is probably the lowest it goes. But yeah, like
I think I've seen it for lower than that. I've seen
that
it
could be
for like 10, but I think that you're probably thinking of the gold edition like
Could
the
be,
lowest
yeah.
that has gone for sure is 15.
Mario plus Rabbids. I'm looking
Yeah,
at
15
deals.
including the DLC. Yep.
Lowest all-time low, $10. Yep.
There it is.
There it is. Yeah. I've thought about getting the DLC at some point because I enjoyed it and I just never got the DLC. But it's one of those things that's like, I don't know that I would just go back into it. I've forgotten enough of the mechanics that it's like, man, I'll just wait and play the next game instead. But yeah.
Yeah, I don't
Good
care
game.
about this game.
Yeah, and like Alex said, never buy a Ubisoft game full price. Seriously, I mean, I remember when Immortals Phoenix Rising came out, and I liked that game. You know, I talked about it.
It was like
and
a
I was
month later. And
yeah, I remember
$20
telling
off.
friends, I was like, if you're interested in this game but don't need to buy it right now, please don't buy it yet. Just
In
wait.
fact, like it was like, I don't know if this was the next month. I'm pretty sure it was like the next month, max 2 months later. It was half price.
Yes.
Because I was like, yo, this is half price. And the sickest part about this game is that it's cross progression. And if you have a Switch and like a new fancy next gen console, you could freaking play it on both and get the advantages of both versions like it's a Switch, you know, where it's like I'm playing it docked on my Xbox Series S. I'm playing it undocked on my Nintendo Switch, you know, like that is the sickest thing about the game. Everything else about the game, aggressively average. Don't care about the rest of it. But that part is cool.
And it's $15 literally right now. So
true.
Good job, everybody. Cheap. So there you go. Bayonetta 3. No.
Nah.
I doubt it.
Unless it's very good.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, this game's been in development for like freaking we gotta imagine like 6 years.
Yeah.
So if not more than that. Because it was announced 5 years ago. So
that's crazy.
You know, like
Sonic Frontiers.
No.
Nope. Yeah, there you go. Xenoblade Chronicles 3.
Yes.
I could see that. I think right now Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition is on there, but not Xenoblade Chronicles 2, maybe.
That's kind of weird. I'm not weirded out by that. I know a lot of people that don't like that game.
I mean, yeah.
So I can see 3 being there, but
yeah, I could as well as like kind of the definitive Xenoblade game.
Yeah, this is the Xenoblade
that brings the best of both worlds together and all that kind of stuff. Yep. So I can see it for sure. Probably somewhere towards the lower side because it's just hard to break into the top side of that, honestly. I don't know if this next one could really at all. Breath of the Wild 2.
It'll be close, man. Maybe number 27, you know. Nah, for free.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's gonna be number 1. Maybe they'll make it number 3 or something if it's like not like mind blowing. You know,
that is the question. Like we haven't run into that specifically yet, where like 2 amazing games from the same IP or whatever. You know, like this whole year is going to be some of that of figuring out like, all right, which one gets booted out for what, and probably they'll just double up on stuff. But like, whereas I don't know.
Like, I think
not with that one. Yeah,
I think the problem with Breath of the Wild 2 is the same thing that a lot of people try to argue with like Mario Galaxy versus Mario Galaxy 2.
Right.
Like Breath of the Wild 2 could be objectively better, meaning it does all of the same stuff that Breath of the Wild did originally, but more though.
Yeah.
You know, but because it didn't do as much to make people feel the way that they felt when they first played the original Breath of the Wild, they are like, this game's not as good because it didn't make me feel the same way.
Totally agreed.
I could see that happening here.
Yeah.
But like if it was like a list that I made or that like is made by fans and stuff, I think that it will probably be like the best game, you know, like it would be better than Breath of the Wild for sure, free.
Yep.
But it might not make people feel the same way, so they'll probably not like it.
I mean, the other thing about these lists is, you know, you can just fudge stuff and be like Breath of the Wild 1 and 2 and put them in one spot just to be like, you know, if the point is to get people to buy games or like, you know, here's the games that you should get, then you just put them both together and then have a little bit of a blurb that explains something or other. But no, I'm totally with you though, as far as like Galaxy and Galaxy 2, because like I played both of them retrospectively, and Galaxy 2,
better game. It is the
hands
better
down.
game. But people are like, it doesn't feel as grand and like all that other stupid crap. The game is better for Galaxy 2.
Yeah, it's good. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see that with this. But last and not least, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet.
I think so.
Yeah,
but
agree.
like that's just going based off of if what they're showing me is good, you know?
Right,
Like
yeah.
if they stick the landing on the things that they have presented, nice, you know?
Yeah.
But knowing them, there's going to be the thing is like the big feature, the like reason that they're going to like they're being like, yo, we should play this game. They haven't revealed that yet. I'm confident in that. That like we don't know what their like selling point is. Like obviously it is an open world game, and that is a selling point for sure. But what about this open world game, or what mechanic are they going to do that like is the hey man, it's a new Pokemon game, everybody?
Yep.
Because they've been doing that for forever, you know. So I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop to be able to like definitely tell if this is like, you know, like for sure the best game or whatever. But I think it is already in the conversation just based off of what we have seen.
Yeah. Agreed. And that's 5 years of the Switch, y'all. Last but not least, we got one Q&A question. This is from Falcon, who says, my question for you. What's a food that you can eat regardless of time of day? Personally, cereal is an anytime day of food. Same thing with ice cream. No one's going to tell me I can't have ice cream for breakfast or cereal for dinner. Hashtag Fanatics
Pizza.
Yep, pizza's pretty free.
Pizza's like that. Chinese food's kind of like that for me. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, there's various varieties of fried chicken.
Yeah.
For example, here's this one:
chicken and waffles.
Chicken and waffles, easy. There's a like buffalo wraps are like heated up lunch and dinner, but like leftovers, I've eaten them for breakfast several times, and that's been great.
100%. Absolutely.
Yeah. Honestly, a lot of foods can kind of do whatever. Like
I don't know. I never really did that whole thing of like the only time that I have been like, it is X time in the morning, I can't eat this, or it is X time at night, I can't eat this, as when I was a child and other people made that decision for me, you know? But now I can do whatever I want. So I'm like, you know, I feel like eating this, you know? And it's like, I don't care what time it is. Like,
I remember having that concept shattered for me when I went to China for 2 weeks, and breakfast there is also, at least where I was, it was also some variety of like broth based soup with noodles in it and stuff. And I was like,
this isn't breakfast food.
Yeah. I was like, where's the eggs and the bacon?
Did you flip the table? This is not
I flipped the lazy Susan. Yeah. But yeah, that was like, oh, okay. Yeah. That's food's just food, you know, like eat whatever you want. And so yeah, which that's a whole nother thought that I've had oftentimes is like, it's great that food tastes good, but it's kind of weird that food really technically doesn't have to taste good at all. It could just taste bland and like nothing, and we only need it for energy.
I think it does, you know,
for us to like want it enough.
I think food needs to taste good, because I think that a lot of people would have died because they wouldn't have eaten otherwise.
I think nutritionally it doesn't need to, but I agree evolutionarily and like just enjoyment wise, it's important that it does. That's true. Alex said you need joy in your life. And for example, I went to Publix yesterday, which I don't usually go to. I didn't know
there was Publix there.
There surely is.
I thought that was just in Florida.
They had 3 bags. They had several bags of the sweet chili pepper Doritos that have been disappeared mysteriously for a long time. And they were buy 2, get 1 free. So I bought 3.
No, you know what's cringe? You said that's the worst kind of Doritos.
Oh no,
which is cringe,
dude. It's very, very true.
That is a bad opinion.
Also, I realized, and this will make more sense in later times, but we're gonna have to figure out the future of Fanatics foods.
True, that's a fact. True, good point.
I thought about that recently.
That's unfortunate, man.
It is, yeah, because it's a fun time.
That's messed up.
Or maybe just you know, Maybe it's just Fanatics Foods anyway.
If we can't, I don't want to say anything else.
Exactly.
I never even thought about that.
I know.
That sucks.
So there it is. All right, y'all. Well, that's about it for this podcast episode.
Yo, thanks for
Yeah.
listening, everybody. You should tell your friends to also listen so they can talk about food and Monopoly and
Mhm.
Nintendo Switch sometimes on our
That's
Nintendo
right.
Switch podcast.
Mhm.
What do you think about food? You know, what's the last time you had a breakfast that was not breakfast, and what was
That's
it?
a good question.
Let
That's
us
a very good
know in
question.
the comments down below. Like, comment, subscribe, all
Mhm.
that good stuff. Goodbye.
Goodbye.